dancing is a privilege not worth having.
I want to be able to fucking rage, dude.
Okay. Like, you mean with a...
I don't know why the intro just cut off, but okay.
Okay.
I guess we're playing half the intro today. Yeah, but I want to be able to fucking rage, dude. Like, I don't want to be the guy who can't party because it fucks him up. Like, I would rather figure out a way to cut back on drinking and how often I drink.
Sure.
That would be about it. I have no desire to quit drinking.
I'd rather be the guy that could carry all of the guys who pass out on the front yard into bed and be sober. That's where my head's at. I want to do that when I'm 80.
Here's the thing. There's certain people in this world that are known drinkers.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to not humiliate myself. So that means there's a certain level of professionalism that you need to take into your drinking.
Suppose, yeah.
So like if someday Steve Austin is like, let's fucking drink beer. I want to be able to stay up with him all fucking night. Bert Kreischer's one of them.
Okay. I see where you're going with
this. There's a couple more. The Rock, he's got his own tequila. I watched that motherfucker down a bottle of tequila on his Instagram page. An entire bottle. like an actual full fucking bottle of Terramana. He's like, oh, you motherfuckers think I'm soft and I don't really drink, blah, 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 blah. And he literally drank the whole fucking bottle on his Instagram.
Yeah, and it didn't even move his blood sugar because
exactly.
Because he's gigantic.
I got to at least be able to hang with those type of dudes. Okay. So I never want to quit drinking, but that's why I fucking...
I admire your commitment.
That's why but at the same time, I am trying to clean up a little bit. So that's why I did the April thing.
Yeah.
But
how'd that go?
it went great until one particular person drove me to drink.
Oh, well, we're not going to go down that ugly, shitty rabbit hole, are we? Or are we?
We might. No, we probably won't.
No, we shouldn't do that. That'd be rude.
No, that's
not in the room to
it's in the
defend
past.
themselves.
It's in the past.
They're on tour with ATP.
It's a you fuck. God damn it. No, he did that to himself, dude. Like I tried to back him off of it too. Like I wasn't very nice about it, but
that's okay.
But those are one of those situations where it's like you shouldn't handle that situation with kid gloves. Like blunt force trauma to the head is the only way you're going to get some sense knocked into you. Because seriously, you can't coddle that kind of. No. I needed more of that. Most of us in this town need more of that.
I think most of us in this life need more of that.
I think the old guard got it a lot better. That's me, you. Well, I don't really consider myself part of the old guard because y'all are fucking stubborn. No, I'm just kidding. But
you're not wrong.
I think we did though talk more shit about each other to each other. Like, dude, you're fucking sloppy, dude. You gotta clean that shit up. And it's what made us good.
Yeah,
and the bigger guys would tell us we suck to our face when we were the opening bands, you know? And they're like, nah, you guys ain't good enough yet. We'd be like, okay, we're not good enough. Like, it was so clear and transparent. And I don't know. People have gotten a little too nice.
The scenes that I came up in, I guess, around here, I didn't really have that experience. The experience I had, there was always a couple of assholes, like, you know, that were kind of like that or whatever. But most of the people that I encountered or bands I encountered when I was coming up were really encouraging. And I don't think I would have been like, there was always that healthy level of competition, you know, which I enjoyed. It's like particularly when I was in the Body Beneath and Sean and
shout out to Jeremy.
Yeah, yeah. When I was in the Body Beneath and For Blood was going on, and the Body Beneath and For Blood would play a lot of shows together. Sean Scott was their frontman, and he was just, you know, Sean. He's so charismatic, and he just knows how to get into an audience's head and get them just fucking riled up. And I would always try to. We would try to outshow each other, you know, like that was kind of the thing is, you know, try to out-frontman each other type thing.
I felt the same way when you guys brought it. It was like, okay, I gotta fucking figure out, because I always brought my A game as a frontman. I never slacked off. I never took a show off. I always brought my A game. But when you guys were on point and you brought it, and there, especially if there was a good crowd that was engaging, then it was like, all right, I got to figure out a way to dig even a little deeper now, and give something a little more.
And then you know what's crazy is that all of us won in our own way.
Yeah, and Sean was particularly. We talked about him on the last podcast, Sean, and that whole band For Blood. It was a hard band to follow.
Oh yeah,
it was a hard band to follow, and I wonder if I ever did that to anybody. I wonder if I ever fucked with anybody like that, because I was an animal on stage.
Yeah, you were. I don't. I mean, I don't remember it.
I don't think anybody was afraid to follow me, but I wonder if I ever like psyched anybody up, like, oh fuck, man, Jared's on fire. I gotta fucking step it up tonight.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm sure you did. I
fucking hope so.
Yeah, I know. I mean, dude, I can't count how many times I saw the band before me go on, and it just made me fucking dig deeper and want to either out. So if I went on first and I knew what the next band coming up was going to be, I was like, okay, I want to make this as difficult as possible for them to follow. That's
what you, yeah, and that's what we should be saying to ourselves if you're the opening band, because you haven't heard anybody, right?
Right.
Like, you're the one setting the tone, and it's like, being an opening band is 99% of the time your job is literally just get people here early.
Yeah,
like you're not even a warm up act. You're bringing the first crowd, so
Hopefully.
People really show up while you're playing,
Hopefully.
right? And that's what the second band is. Like, if you think about it, like, you got an opener, you got a warm up act, then you have a supporting act,
you got direct support, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, and then a headliner. Exactly. Yeah. So. But if you go into it with the mentality of like, all right, we know what our job is, but our goal is to make it as hard as fucking possible to be the second band on the bill.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, if you take that attitude from day one, you will probably not be opening very long. You will probably become that second band on the bill real quick.
Yeah.
Because motherfuckers are going to be like, don't have them open. I don't want to follow them.
Not only that, but then the audience will respond too, you know?
Yeah.
It's going to be good for everybody.
Yeah, I always remembered trying to, when we were opening like that,
Sure.
especially new in my career, I remembered the challenge that I gave myself was, because as a front man, I could get really up to where that light bar is.
Oh, yeah.
And I could see past the light bar at certain clubs. And so I'd be out there singing or doing my thing or whatever, and my goal would be to get those people that are coming through the door to actually immediately come to the stage because we're good enough.
Right.
Instead of what most people do is the first thing they do is go to the bar.
Right.
That's what I was like, okay, here's what we got to do, because we know we're going to have our 50 to 200 people here when when you're first starting out as an opener.
Right.
You're lucky if you're an opener and you bring 50 people. That's
200.
impressive.
I was going to say, what the fuck?
Well, that was Joe's thing.
Yeah.
He goes 200 people if you want to move on from opening. He
Sure.
goes, I'm not booking you past opener unless you get more than 200 people.
That's why I played in the hardcore scene, man. What's that, 20? All right, cool.
200 was a headliner.
Yeah, fuck yeah. 200 was like 3 shows. No, what that really ends up doing is it ends up making even just the mindfulness or the awareness that that's your goal, to bring those new people in the door, to get them to come to the stage.
Oh, that's what.
That's
what the goal was. Is like, I know I brought 50 people.
Right.
I want to see 75 to 100 by the time we're done.
Right.
Because that means I've gotten 25 to 50 newbies. Yep. That's what mattered to me. That was my goal. Sorry. I just realized I never actually finished that.
That's all right.
It's early, folks. Trust me. I'll forget soon enough.
Funny.
Pretty soon I won't finish a single thought, and neither will you.
Oh,
but it'll be from different reasons. It'll be because I interrupt you, and it'll just be because I forget what I was saying. I'm working on it.
We'll get there faster than what we really even are thinking we will. So
I'm working on it, though. I really am. I'm trying to become a better host where I don't interrupt as much. It's tough, though. It's really tough to know when to jump in and when not, because not always is that person actually going somewhere, because we're just hanging out and bullshitting. And sometimes I see it in the guests' eyes, and they're like, I can just see they slowly, and they're like, fuck, what was I talking about?
Oh, no.
And I'm like, and I'll just jump in. I'm like, I got this, bro.
Well, that's your job right there. Yeah.
Or you guys really will inspire me to ask a question, because a lot of the times too is we repeat the same shit and we've had the same conversations.
Right.
And so it's like, fuck, dude, you said something there though that's way more interesting than where this conversation's probably gonna go. And so I'll intentionally do a hard left with the bus there, and I'll be like, I want to talk about this because that seems more interesting. But for people that are just jumping in and tuning in, a lot of people don't know who you are, because the channel's grown quite a bit since you've been on last time.
There's a lot of people out there. So,
but you were a vocalist for a bunch of badass bands. But now you've got, and you're still doing that. But now you've got the fitness thing going. What are you up to now, though? I seen on Instagram you were recording some vocals.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm always got my fucking hands.
So
in something.
what project is that?
So that's a project.
Is that the Descent of?
Nope. So that Descent of Man is a little different project. What I'm working on in those particular videos, those recent videos, is a project aptly dubbed No Humans. It's myself and my buddy.
You guys are a bunch of apes, or what?
Yeah, of course. Which is just a goddamn
bunch of albino apes just running around.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Vanilla gorillas, you know.
Dude, oh my god.
You're welcome. Take that home. Cheers.
I never thought I'd say this again, but I want to start a band with Jeremy Blake called Vanilla Gorillas. I never thought I'd want to start
vocalists.
I never thought I'd want to start a band again, but I want to do it specifically with Jeremy Blake, and I want to call it fucking Vanilla Gorillas. I think that's brilliant.
Vanilla Gorillas is a trademark at kaisfitnesscoaching.com.
I think Vanilla Gorillas is better than Albino Gorillas.
Yeah, it's got that alliteration thing going.
Because Albino Gorillas, you just imagine an actual white, red-eyed gorilla.
Right.
Kind of off-putting.
A little
but
bit.
when you say Vanilla Gorilla, It's got like a cartoon vibe to it.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So I just imagine like a really
wearing a gold chain and stuff.
Yeah, but and a Speedo.
A Speedo, probably.
And very sexy.
Of course.
That's the logo.
I wouldn't have thought of it if it wasn't. No, that's a project called No Humans, is what that is. It's still in the early stages. We're fucking around with stuff.
Sounds pretty good, though.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
You've always had a fucking dick. I mean, voice.
You see, my reputation precedes me.
No, but you've always had that big, thick, deep, fucking brutal metal voice.
Oh, thanks.
Is there any things you've done to get to that point, or has it always been in that lower register? Or did you start off a whiny bitch?
Started off a whiny bitch.
Did you really?
For sure, yeah. Like, no, not like that.
So not a yell?
Not a yell ever. It was
like
always a scream.
Was it kind of like a black metal scream? That
I've always had that kind of weird high, because Nate Galbraith from Den of Thieves and Section Hate previously, he's actually the one who taught me started teaching me how to use my voice like way back when I was like 18.
Shout out to Nate.
Shout out to Nate. Wouldn't be doing this
OG
without
on
him.
the scene.
Fuck yeah. But yeah, so he kind of took me under his wing, and we would hang out all the time, and we would just both practice together. And so he kind of taught me. And it was always this thing where we'd play shows together, my band at the time, To the Burning End, and then Section Hate. And we were going in both bands were going in a much more death metal oriented, heavier direction from our previous kind of like new metal incarnations that we were in before. And so Nate and I started messing with our range a lot. And one thing that we were trying to do back then is like have little mini competitions about like who could go lower, and then so Colin Strandberg from With Dead Hands Rising actually kind of inspired this whole thing with his vocals on Behind Inquisition. We heard that record of theirs for the first time. Like we got kind of bootleg copies of it, Ty, the guitar player from the band, or Matt, like slipped either Dan or Nate a version of the album to check out or whatever, So then we listened to it and we're like, holy shit, Dead Hands went all fucking Cannibal Corpse on us, and so then we were trying to mimic Colin, and it just made us like dig into more death metal vocalists, and I started listening to things like Lamb of God back then. I mean, this is early 2000s,
right? Before anybody knew who Lamb of God even
right,
was.
Exactly, like New American Gospel, and then of course like the Martyr ADs and Disembodieds and all the other local bands around here that were just fucking killing it and inspired us or whatever. But
some deep local cuts right there.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man, the best. And we were.
God,
so
there
we would
were
always
so
like,
many good bands in this town, and there still are, but still, it's just crazy the level of skill.
Yeah, this place is great for music.
All right, keep going.
No, you're cool. Like, we would try to. So I'd be on stage, and Nate'd be like, "Go lower," and we'd do that to each other, and like rib each other from side stage and stuff like that, and see who could make the grossest noises and shit. So, and then it just kind of transformed from there. I just kind of became comfortable in that whole range. That's always been my goal, is to be able to do any kind of voice, really. And now I've been working on clean singing and been working on fucking, hate to say it on the fucking podcast, but like rapping.
Interesting. What's the motivation to do the rapping? Like,
it's really
rhythmic cadences?
That's all. Yeah, it's just me studying. That's all it is.
Like literally,
exactly.
Like, dude, because I understand exactly why you're slightly embarrassed.
I don't want to. Like, I'm not trying to be a fucking rapper.
In case the listeners are confused, though, there was also a huge amount of shit in our town that we still give new metal bands.
Right.
Like, and it just metal rapping. It all gets quickly associated with new metal. But I do understand the point there, though, because I did that as a vocalist. That's one of the reasons my rhythms were. I shouldn't say they were better than other people's, but like,
well, that's why you have a competency with writing.
Well, and a lot of people would come up and they'd be like, "I don't know what the fuck you're saying, but that rhythm, dude, you're doing in this section is just so fucking cool." And it was literally like a Tupac rhythm that he did in a verse.
Right. Yeah.
That was just locked in my subconscious that I didn't really know what he was doing. And it was, or an Eminem one or a Biggie one, or like prolific rappers that just like metal bands had etched their way into my creative mindset. So when I started screaming, I approached it like rap.
Right.
Even though I wasn't rapping anymore.
Right.
And I was in a new metal band where I rapped, but I'm talking when I got into like Dying Euphoria and I was doing definitely not rapping.
Right.
It was still rhythmically hip hop inspired, because that's where you find those really great vocal rhythms that have nothing to do with notes.
It's all
or
backbeat,
even word choices.
It's percussive. So, and that's what you need, especially in death metal now. Like, dude, you can't be just unless you're like, I don't know, Unless you're Chris Barnes and 6 Feet Under, you can't just be on the downbeat all the fucking time.
I wonder if I
can't-
could pick up vocals again and immediately come back a badass.
I mean, maybe not immediately, but with some practice, I'm sure you could do just fine.
Well, yeah, I don't mean like literally like I'm going to pick up this microphone and go on stage tomorrow.
Right.
I did that with 10 days notice and it was a shit show.
Right. Yeah, as it usually is.
I was prepared for that to go bad, but no, I'm talking like a typical 90 days, 45 days where
Sure.
I'm doing the rehearsals and I'm bringing my
you
voice
could.
back.
Yeah, you could.
I wonder if I actually could. Because
Okay.
I've seen some of you
Try.
guys, not you, but I've seen some of you guys from my generation who are still out there doing it, and it's like, oof, like getting a little old there, bud.
Oh yeah.
Like definitely not the same. Like I
Yeah.
remember when this dude was running across the stage, and now he's standing in one spot, and he's winded
yeah.
halfway through his set, and he's missing notes. He's skipping entire sections.
Sounds like he could use a trainer. I know a guy.
Too bad I'm not willing to put him on blast on the podcast.
Afterwards, you tell me. I'll reach out to him.
There's a few of them.
I know.
Just go to a show.
Yeah.
That's where you should get your
What
new
is this
clientele.
thing you speak of? Show?
Yeah,
show?
go to a show. Find one.
What is this? I'm not familiar.
Fucking Via's playing in Rice Lake, Wisconsin tomorrow.
Nice. Yeah,
I'm
there's
thinking
a
about
bunch of
bouncing out there.
there's a bunch of cool shit going on.
There's
in
a bunch
Wisconsin
of
and
really
stuff,
good
yeah.
rock bands right now, dude. Via,
Oh,
The Issue, both those bands are legit, like actually legit.
Yeah, I know Via's real solid. Like I don't know the other one, but
The Issue, they're
Via's
new.
fucking-
They're
okay.
new. They're young as fuck.
Firefight.
Haven't heard them yet, but
So
I know someone in that
Sin
band.
City Escape became Firefight.
Who's in that band? Because I know someone.
Addison Peck and Brooks Brooks and fucking Sam Jansky and Kyle Palma.
I know Addison Peck. That's who I know.
Yeah, he plays bass.
He was in. He slept at the bass.
He slapped at the bass. Yeah.
He was in an old band that opened for the Tyrants, and I can't remember the name of his old band. Not that it matters because it's his old band.
It's
But
his old band. Talk about his new band. They just dropped a single that's done really, really well. Actually, like I think.
you heard Stormbreaker yet?
Yeah. Stormbreaker's solid, man.
Dude,
It's
those fucking kids are running. It reminds me of when Trent and Justin showed up.
Yep.
Like they're kids. No offense, boys. I know you're over 21, but you're kids. I mean, shit. I just heard Joe Rogan joke about that. Everyone to him under 40 is still a kid.
For sure.
So don't get offended. It's not an offensive thing to say. But
It's
those kids,
not that you're not sexy. It's just that you're just younger than
they're
us.
running circles
Yeah.
around everybody already. And they're not even at their own level yet.
No, they're
Like
doing.
they have a long way to go, and they're still better than most bands right now.
And as long as they keep their nose clean and they keep,
I think they just gotta. I just think they need to play like 100 shows within a year.
Yeah.
And by the end of that year, they'll be tight. Because I'm not saying they're sloppy. They're not sloppy.
they're not at all.
They're tight, but
Yeah.
like I seen them live and they're just young. They're green, like I don't even want to say raw because they're more than God, I don't even know if there's a word
There's just
that we have in the industry.
Well, there's just a
They
difference
haven't been
between
battle hardened yet.
Yeah, there's just a difference between a band that's like played some shit and done some things, and then a band that's like gone out. It's a different level of tightness when a band has gone out and like really dialed in that sound.
Yeah, and what I
just
think
different.
we're talking about going from like a scale of 1 to 10. Like they're in tightness, they're probably already like an 8.5 or a 9. What we're talking about is getting to the 9.9.
Yeah,
That last little 0.9.
That last inch that always counts, isn't it?
And it takes you longer to do that last little 0.9 than it did you to get to 9 in the first place.
Right.
And that can only be done through playing live shows on good PAs, shitty PAs, with good sound guys, with
every
bad
stage,
sound guys.
Yeah, every stage.
Yep.
All of them.
Yep. And yeah, I guarantee you though, like I'm excited because they're coming on the podcast, and I was
Nice.
joking. I was like, I got to get them on before they get too big for me because those fucking kids, that shit's gonna
Growing.
blow up, dude. That 80s glam rock is coming back with a vengeance, and
It's-
I couldn't be more happy about it.
You are in a league all your own there, man.
No, I'm not. I'm in a league with a bunch of hot 20-year-olds.
Oh, jeez.
Mostly dudes, but still hot.
But if you look at them from the back, you couldn't tell.
Their fucking pants are tight enough, bro. You wouldn't know.
And you know what? You might not care. And that's okay.
You know what I like, though, is the makeup didn't come back. The makeup didn't come back with it.
Yet. And it's fun. Like,
Don't do it.
yeah, hey, why not? Fuck it, have a good time. Want to put on some makeup? Put on some makeup.
Why not? Where do I get started?
I mean, System of a Down might say, "Wake up."
You're the worst.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Are you a competitive dude? Like naturally deep down, or like because you mentioned you and your buddy kind of had a little competition. I imagine that was just innocent, friendly, like almost motivational, like kind of like in the gym.
Yeah,
come on. You're not
Pushing
really
yourself.
competing against each other, but like you'll do dumb shit like that. Or are you actually competitive?
I think I have a sense of competition about me. I don't like. I'm competitive with myself, like actively competitive with myself. If I do something and like I just don't bullshit myself and can I do that better the next time? Yeah, okay, let's fucking do that. And then I'll kind of dissect it and like how can I be better or whatever. But yeah, I think there's a certain part of me that's competitive, I guess. Yeah. With other people even, yeah.
So did you ever do Battle of the Bands back in the day?
No, man, none of my bands ever had to do that bullshit.
Because we were talking about
we chose not to.
Because we were also talking about like guys killing it, whatever. There's
Yeah.
a decent crowd. It's responding. Then God, I got to step up my game tonight and shit.
Right.
Like that. And I'll tell you what, those Battle of the Bands. That was like I could have just played Battle of the Bands my entire career and never ever made it. I'd still have been cool because that adding the competition to music,
Sure.
that shit, dude, that puts me in like
Another
a
level?
zone, dude. It just puts me in a zone of focus, knowing I'm in a competition.
Yeah. I would
Like-
say that's accurate for me too. Like if I know I'm in a competition, which I guess kind of quietly inside myself, I always kind of go into every show kind of thinking that, like, okay. And that's just because it pushes me.
But
It's
you
not
also
like,
said it's a personal battle, right?
right. There's no like desire for anyone to lose in that situation for me. Like I want everyone to I want everyone to feel the way I do about it, which is like, okay, fuck yeah, we got this audience in front of us. Let's make this as good a fucking show for them as possible. And I feel like amidst all the bands on a show, it should be like a collective team effort to like, that's everyone's job is to get this audience riled up and fucking having a great time, getting their money's worth so they want to come back and do it again. Like that's the kind of competition I enjoy. Like knowing that I see the band before me go on, like for instance, right now, one of my favorite frontmen out in the Minneapolis area is
Frontman?
Frontman is Abe Frodman. No, that's not even his name's Ashton. And he sings for a band called Graveslave. And he's a fucking buff dude. He's fucking badass. He's got awesome stage presence, great fucking voice, just a fucking monster. And I can't wait to play shows with him because I know that with him on stage, I'm going to push myself because he's fucking good. And I know he's good. And that's going to make me push myself to perform at my top level. So that's the kind of shit that I look at. Like that's how it's competitive. Like I don't want Ashton to fuck up or anything like that. I want him to do a great job, but I also want me to look at his awesome work and go, fuck yeah, I want to go up to that level.
It's interesting too, though, because like some of my biggest motivations in the industry has been when I thought I had a good show.
Oh yeah.
And then somebody went up after me and just wiped the fucking
That's
floor
always fun.
with me.
Yep.
And
Humbling.
I'm like, oh, okay. I got to fucking set my shit up because now it's almost embarrassing. I thought I did good.
Yeah.
But now I see what good can be.
Yep.
And I didn't do that tonight.
Right. Like we talked about before the camera started rolling, how sometimes you walk around thinking your shit don't stink, but there's flies everywhere. Like, you're just like, maybe I have some work to do.
When do you know you're good? Because for me, it was when other musicians that I highly respected would tell me, like, dude, you're good.
That's how it used to be for me.
It definitely ain't when my friends and family say I'm good.
No. I mean, when other bands I respect, like, compliment, like, that's very humbling. That's very fucking awesome. That's inspiring. I like that. But I think for me, about my own personal abilities, I kind of had to decide, and especially in this last, like, 2-year period, went through a lot of shit, had to kind of think about my relationship to music and if I wanted to keep doing this thing or not, or, what I exactly was going to do with it. I had to stop telling myself I sucked all the fucking time and that I wasn't good enough. And
Speaking of sucking, what's the difference between Body Beneath and For Blood?
Andy Altman's?
Oh, shots fired.
No, not shots fired. He was the one that wasn't in both bands all the time.
Fair, but it apparently has something to do with semen.
I don't think it does.
Okay, so Kyle, you got to give us the punchline.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, by the way, you mentioned shows.
Yeah.
So we were talking about that. Not only is Via got a thing going out on Wisconsin, I might fucking drive out there to see that.
Yeah.
Like I know it's Rice Lake and it's kind of ridiculous, but
fuck it.
I gotta see it, dude. I gotta see, just like Texas, man. I had to see it.
Oh yeah, that was great that you went down there.
It's fucking awesome. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later before I forget this already. But Joe's birthday, allegedly Spanbauer's final B-Day bash. But I don't know, man. I don't know if I
is he
buy
dying?
this.
Do we not know?
I don't.
Or is he just
buy
not
this.
having another party?
It's Ozzy's farewell tour. Everyone is the last one for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
I just don't buy it, But maybe it is. And I don't know. It's great marketing because, fear of missing out. Like if I don't go this year and it is the last one, I'm going to be pissed.
I mean, you could just text Joe at his birthday.
Nah,
like, hey,
going to the show is like kind of a staple of the old guard.
Oh, I know.
You know what I mean? Like
yeah, for sure.
That used to be one of the biggest shows of the year.
Yeah.
Where we all got old and fat.
That's fun. What are you talking about fat, man?
I didn't say you.
Oh, yeah.
No, I didn't. I promise. I
I'm not worried. Trust me, man. I'm not worried
about
it. I know you weren't.
No, but it's definitely the old bands can't draw what they used to, but these young bands are drawing huge numbers, and it's not dead. We just lost touch.
Yeah. Well, and
I didn't lose touch. I'm not part of that old guard. That's you old fucks.
Here's the thing about that is that this whole COVID thing, when shows finally come back, people realize how much they were taking things for granted, and that they, and they're going to come back out and they're going to really appreciate it and really enjoy it. And that's just going to be what it is.
I think so too, and I think people are itching for it. And I think especially they're looking for good music. They want to find, like, if you are going to go out to a show, especially if it's half cap or even once it gets back to full cap, but maybe you're a little nervous, right? Whether you're vaccinated or not, maybe you're still a little freaked out about going out. If you are going to go out, you want to see a good fucking band.
Right.
And I guarantee you there's going to be more shitty bands than ever coming back because they didn't spend the year rehearsing and writing.
Oh, I don't know about that.
And then there's going to be a lot of really good fucking bands that spent the entire year rehearsing and writing. So I think is what you're going to miss out on is those middle ground bands. You're going to have a lot more shitty bands than you normally do, and you're going to have a lot more great bands than you normally do. Because you're going to see a distinct, what were you doing during the pandemic? And that's going to translate, if we were talking football because the draft is on, that's going to translate on the field.
Right.
That's going to translate onto the stage.
I think that you're going to get a lot of new bands that haven't had a chance to play live yet because they've been holed up writing, starting
Ipso facto, they suck.
Right. They might.
They're just not going to be at their own potential yet.
Right. Well, and that's a good thing. You want that influx of new music. You want that fresh blood coming in. You want those young kids. Like there's another band, God, what the fuck is their name? Begravement or something like that. That's like 18-year-old kids. This kid named Ezra Blumfield, who's a fucking monster he's just a fucking awesome songwriter. Great fucking like thrashy black and death metal stuff. It's cool shit. And they've got a lot of cool things happening. You want those kind of new blood bands to pop into the mix and shake things up a little bit. And even if they're not quite like whatever you want to call it, pro level, whatever that means, they're still solid, contributors to the metal scene. So
I mean, the only thing that really matters is, are you drawing?
Yeah,
because that's really at the end of the day, the only way you're going to get better is to play bigger shows. And let's just be honest, the only way you play bigger and better shows with bigger and better bands is to draw initially on your own.
Right.
So people want to play with you, because rarely in this industry are you ever going to get a charity handout. Hey, I just like your band and I want you to open for me.
Oh yeah, that shit doesn't happen.
I mean, it does, but it's incredibly rare. It's a unicorn moment. Well, I wouldn't even call it unicorns because those don't exist. But
yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So you gotta put that first little step in and get like Joe. Joe gave us a clear number, 200 people. Sure. When you get 200 people showing up to see you, then I'll start booking you these bigger opportunities. We had a clear number. We started out drawing 50. Right. I remember. It was pretty easy to get 50 people. 200, quite a bit of work.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't get 200 people I personally knew at the time I'm 17 to show up to a bar, at an 18-plus show.
There.
But my band members were all adults, and they still weren't doing it either. It took us a while of playing with other shows and nipping 5 to 10 people coming through that door as we're opening. And then all of a sudden we had 100 people at every show as the opener. And then it was 150 at every show as the opener. And it took us less than a year, but it took us less than a year to get to that 200 number. And then boom, right as we were, and this is my very first band, as soon as we were like no longer opening, we broke up.
Wow,
and that wasn't even meant to be funny.
Too typical.
But that's also exactly right. It's super non-ironic.
Well, that's what I was saying about that Stormbreaker band. And I'm not trying to wish them, bad juju or anything like that. But that's what I meant when I said keep your nose clean. Like keep your egos in check. Make sure that you guys are working together as a team. You're not like letting little resentments build up. You're all staying on point with your practices.
Make sure one guy doesn't like start getting sidetracked. Oh,
exactly.
I think I want to
6 projects, dude. There's always that guy in every band. I'm
now
usually that guy.
Well, and now you almost have to. Like now it's a little different. Like I don't think you can survive in one band. I just don't unless you're the
what do you
prime.
mean survive?
Like if you're trying to like do this
make it.
Well, not even make it. I don't like using that term anymore because that used to be like sell 100,000 records. Like you can make a living and pay your bills as a musician without ever making it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So between Patreon and streams and YouTube and there's just so many ways to monetize your shit now.
Yeah, you just
outside
gotta be on
of
the
simple.
hustle.
Yeah, exactly. So and it's totally doable.
I say but it just is not. To diminish the efforts that go in.
No, but it is simple. I think that's what you meant by it's just hustle. Like, it's not complicated. And most of the shit we talk about, all of us as musicians on this podcast, none of it's complicated, but none of it's easy. Like I say, just don't quit.
Yeah.
Like if you're actually good and you do all the things you're supposed to do, you do the rehearsals, you play the shows, you get better, you start writing better songs. Really, I swear to God, just don't quit, and eventually you'll make it. Because most of the music industry is also a battle of attrition.
Yeah, well,
most people quit.
Don't be an asshole.
That'll help you.
That'll help a lot. I mean,
or be so good it overwhelms your assholeness.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. Like either that or be so good that no one gives a shit that you're an asshole. Like they just want to suck your dick no matter what. Like,
yeah, it's a tough business to make it in, but I think it's easier now because there's no gatekeepers. You go direct to consumer.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
There's no record label holding a opportunity over your head. You don't have to get on the radio anymore. In fact, you blow up on Spotify, the radio comes up and they're like, "Hey, we need to start playing these guys' songs." Okay, well, we got to pay them, and boom, you start getting your ASCAP checks. You start getting your BMI checks, whatever it is. Video games. There's so many fucking verticals in the music industry now.
Yeah, I mean,
where if you're just a player, I don't think if you're not a content creator, that's what I'm getting at.
Oh,
so
okay.
like you're the songwriter. So it's your band, you're writing all this music, and then it gets successful and you put together a band. Those are going to be hired jobbers, right? They're not really in the band. They don't write the music. You could potentially just be in that one band and actually still make it or make profit or whatever.
Sure.
Support your family. That's a much more user-friendly term.
Yeah, sure.
You can support your family doing that.
Yeah.
But if you're just a guitar player or you're just a drummer, you can still provide for your family in the music industry if you're in enough projects that are gigging enough. Maybe you're a session guy and you're paid to come in and track for other people.
Yeah. That seems to be a really profitable endeavor for the most part. If you're
good enough
and you make the connections like that.
Exactly.
Tim Java does that. Like that's he has his own projects that he loves doing and stuff like that too. But
yes.
Yeah.
Gensmer's kind of a guy for hire. Chad Hasladen.
Yep.
Well, he does music for like video games and shit.
Awesome.
I follow him on social media. He's constantly posting his screen grab, not a screenshot, but like it's the computer screen.
Yeah.
And you see the tracks and you can listen to the music and it's just like a 10-second clip. But it's like actually kind of good. Whereas you know how most music in a video game is like really shitty and simple?
Yeah.
But it's got a vibe. So they're like, yep, that's the backing music. It's got the vibe. Like it sounds like video game music. Yeah, this is perfect for like You think a fighting game, you think a racing game, anything like that. It's like, yeah, that'd be perfect. It's also kind of good.
Yeah, okay.
That's
so
like,
you can
actually
yeah. like listen to it instead
A
of just
bit,
sort
yeah.
of have it as atmospheric background.
Yeah, and I
noise or
bet you
whatever.
he actually takes pride in that music.
Of
Because I know
course.
a bunch of those dudes that fucking what was that old website called? I think it was Taxi. Where
Fuck,
you would
I have no idea.
I think it was called Taxi, and you would record a bunch of music and you would just put it up there, and anybody in the world could
Buy it, use
pay
it. Yeah.
to use it wherever they wanted. And
It's like a licensing thing or whatever.
Yeah, dude, and motherfuckers made a bunch of money because shit would get picked up for movies, TV shows, video games, shit like that, right? And I talked to him and I'm like, so like, are you proud of it? And they're like, oh, hell no, it's terrible music. They're like, I put zero effort into it. Like I pick a chord progression. I do that. I, do different instruments that, I try to make it, and I run through it and I put it out there, and sometimes it sells, sometimes it doesn't, but it's not good music. I'm not proud of it.
Well,
I have a feeling Chad, because it's actually kind of good, it's like,
that Chad's proud of his stuff?
yeah,
for
like
sure.
like I bet you when he's putting that out there, it's not that same shitty style video game music that I was just talking about. It's actually
Right.
pretty good. Like,
Nice.
like you could almost hear it like in a band format, like performed.
You can always tell when
You know what I mean? Like,
someone puts themselves into something.
I don't want to sound like I'm like sucking his dick, but I also don't want to make sure I'm not talking shit. Like, basically is what I'm trying to say is he's not writing hit songs for these video games, but he's also not writing like shitty progressions that he's just slapping together in seconds.
Right.
You can tell he's
It's
like
interesting to listen to, and
Yeah, it's
good.
actually
Good job, Chad.
that's the only way
Proud
I
of you,
can
buddy.
explain that. That's the only way I can explain it. But there's so many ways to make money in this industry.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to do any one thing anymore.
No,
But if you're just a performer and you're not making any of these other forms of content, then I don't even know if you can survive in one band. So if you're 22 years old right now and you're just the bass player and you're not a prime songwriter, and like you're putting all your eggs on that band blowing the fuck up so you can support your family. I'm not sure I would advise my kid to do that right now. But if he wanted to be a musician and he's like, no, this is what I want to do, I'd be like, all right, man, then if you're not writing songs and putting out then you better fucking be a jobber and a session guy, and you better be in like 6 bands, if you want to get that shit going out there. Like,
yeah,
you
get
know,
your name out. Yeah.
it's just, you gotta like, I think instead of it being, when we came up, there was kind of like one way to make it. You like played a very linear
the internet
path.
was really limited at that point in time. It hadn't opened everything up for everybody yet.
Yeah,
just was a different era.
but it was like a leveler. It was like, if we're
Sounds so
talking video
fucking-
games, it was like Mario,
Yeah,
You go through, and every once in a while you'd find a tube that'd bring you and skip a world,
secret warp fucking tunnel.
But you never knew unless somebody told you, hey, do this. Go talk to this guy. That was your secret little tunnel, your warp tunnel to get farther along faster, right? You didn't know any better.
Networking, yeah.
Yeah, you would just hop along and go through the thing. Now it's like a fucking open world game. Like GTA, you get bounced in. You can go any fucking direction you want and make money doing whatever the fuck you want in this industry.
Right.
I think it's easier now. You just have to look at it what you're trying to do.
It's different now, and you have to. It's a different grind. It's just a different kind of grind than it was before. It was pounding the pavement and fucking shaking hands and kissing babies and all that bullshit. And now it's networking through social media and getting content and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy
different era.
because but no matter what we talk about, if you want to become tight, like what we were talking about, it's got to be done on the road. Like, I don't even think local shows. Do you ever remember that when a really good local band would go out on the road and come back and they'd be a way better band?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about with Stormbreaker, that I hope that they find that. That's the thing that happened in like ATB, is that they went out on the road for a little
Epicurean.
while. Epicurean, yep, same thing.
Already great.
Yeah, yep.
Go out on tour, come back, and people are like, what the fuck?
we had a different approach in Etheric. We just decided that we would go out for 5 days and see if we came back better, but we just broke up instead.
That's like the 7 months thing. Like, we finally hit this mark and we're no longer opening. Boom, we broke up.
Man.
And then I immediately jumped into my next band, and luckily I was able to jump into that band fast enough to bring a bunch of those people, and I already had enough equity, so where we fucking still had to hit 200, but we did that by like our 3rd or 4th show.
Well, yeah, you guys had built up reputations by then and kind of had.
They didn't. They were all kids. Nobody had ever heard of them. That was luckily a little momentum coming from me, but they showed up and they brought it because I drilled those kids like the military would.
Oh, yeah?
For 3 months. Because it was like, dude, you already have a whole album written.
Oh.
We need to drop these 3 songs because they're just weak. We need to write 3 more songs. Boom, there's a 45-minute set. I can get us real gigs for good bands right now. And they're like, for real? And I'm like, yeah, dude, I'll make the call. And
who'd you call?
Joe Spanbauer, Bill Berry, you know what I mean? Fucking Revelance. I called Jeremy.
Called Jeremy.
Yep.
Yeah.
In fact, I think that was our first show.
Is that Pat?
That is Pat.
Damn. Love you, man.
What's up, motherfucker? Oh
Activity in there
shit.
today.
Oh shit.
If anybody looked at
What
the
was I
live
just
chat,
saying,
I'd be
though?
confused and think I actually had friends.
What was I just saying? Fuck.
I have great friends, by the way.
Oh yeah. Revelance. I think it was either our first show or our second show, and it was Revelween. They threw us on as an opener.
Love Revelween.
And it was either our first show or our second show, but literally by our third or fourth show, because day one, those kids could fucking do it, and we had a bad show our first night.
Yep.
But 60 days later, we came back because that was back when you never played more than once every 60 days in town. And I think that was Revelween.
Still exists, and there's still a lot of bands that
I think Revelween was our second show. I do. I think Revelween was our second show. And by that, Joe Spanbauer even came up and he goes, "That's not the same band I just seen last month or whatever." And I was like, nope. And by our third or fourth show, we had 200 and boom, we weren't opening. But Joe would not fuck with that number. He didn't compromise. It was so clear what you had to do your job before you deserved to move up. And that was so good for me. And it was so good for us in our scene. Because it also, by the time were a headliner.
Kids love boundaries.
Well, and it gave you a goal to achieve because
Yeah,
then by the
sure.
time you were a headliner, and this is the thing, headlining was only 500 people. That was Joe's rule, 500 people. But that 200 to 300 is a huge jump.
Dude, can you imagine pulling 500 people like a year ago? It would fucking no way. Like, I mean, just saying, like to a local show, like.
I mean,
you're just not.
There's definitely bands that are doing it, and they were doing it last year. It just wasn't us. It wasn't any of the metal bands we think of.
That's what I'm saying. Like in the scene the circle that we keep close.
I call that the old guard. That's what I've dubbed us. And I keep saying I'm not a part of it because I really wasn't part of your group. I earned my way in after retirement.
Well, we had to jump you back into the gang, and it was a violent.
Let's just be honest. I was a total piece of shit.
Oh, Jared, you were just a young dude that just had an attitude. That's it. I started the rapping thing.
Dude, I really did though. I had a chip on my shoulder. I was pissed off all the time. I had something to prove, and I didn't know who I was proving it to. Probably my dad. Who knows? You know what I mean? Fucking.
And well, you can blame it on daddy issues. That's fine. You were fine, man. We were kids. Doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah. Okay. So Pat's asking, Revelween, was that our first show? I don't think it was. I don't think Revelween was our first show, Pat. I think that was our second show. That's what a lot of people don't know is Pat, Solace and Ashes was Pat's first band.
Yeah, I remember.
Pat, Nick, and we brought in Kevin, a new bass player, and that was not his first band. He had been in a dozen bands before that, and a couple really good ones. One was called... when I say good, I mean they were tight. Not as in everyone should like their music good. I think it was called Frame Rate. It was like sort of before nu metal was even popular. But it was like
weird.
It was kind of very much nu metal.
Okay.
And then I think he was in Rivkit for a little bit too. At some point in time.
Oh.
I think he was in Rivkit. Maybe I'm wrong.
While.
Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, it was me, Nick, Kevin, and Pat. And I was so hard on those kids. I was so fucking hot. Because I was like, dude, we have 90 days to get our shit together.
Yeah.
And they fucking did it.
Well, Pat's
and then
by
by 4 shows, fuck yeah, he was a workhorse, dude.
Pat's always been a workhorse.
Dude, it was so funny. I forgot to ask him about this. But he told me the thing he hated about Drumline and all this other shit was the drilling.
Yeah.
And when I was in Solace and Ashes with him, that's what got him off. Because we were writing this new part, and I would stand over him, And because he couldn't figure out how to play it, right? He'd have to slow it down and then he'd hit it. And like, yeah, do this. We'd write drum parts together. He was really cool like that. And then he's like, I just got to figure out how to play fast now. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. I think we were waiting for somebody to show up or something. And like, all right, again. And I was literally standing over his shoulder. I was like, your left hand's getting sloppy. Again. Because
I don't think I ever beat him up that bad.
I did. I
didn't need
so
to.
hard
You already
on
did.
him.
It sounds
I
like.
was so hard on those guys. But they learned and they listened and they fucking paid their dues. And almost all of them have gone on to do even bigger shit than I've ever done.
Dude, I knew, like, so.
I'm very proud of I just wish I was.
Yeah.
I would just wish I was easier to work with, so I didn't alienate them in the end the way I did.
Yeah,
That's the only regret I have, because I instilled a work ethic in those boys from day one that immediately they were able to benefit from, and they were also long-term able to benefit. It made me a better musician too, because they were so fucking good.
Oh yeah, I mean, I knew how good Pat was when I saw him play and Bury the Hatchet, and Body Beneath.
That was your side project, wasn't it, Pat?
Bury the Hatchet and Body Beneath would play together, and I would watch Pat play, and I would just be thinking in the back of my head, I was like, that kid's gonna be the next fucking drummer I work with.
Yep,
100%, because we were kind of having issues with our guy. And then we played a show at First Ave.
That's a great band name, Bury the Hatchet. That is such a fucking cool band.
They had great
name.
shirts too. One time the Body Beneath wore all of, because it was Bury the Hatchet's last show, I think, and we all wore Bury the Hatchet shirts on stage for him.
That's dope.
Yeah, so we were kind of celebrating that it was their last show or whatever. But I called Pat at like 2:00 in the morning after Body Beneath and Bury the Hatchet played the entry together, and I knew it was going to be our current drummer's, like, one of his final shows, and I was just like, hey man, you want to do this? Come play with us. And he was like, fuck yeah, let's do this. So then it was game on.
Fucking on.
Hell yeah. And
It's
then we got
fucking
Lucas
on,
Scott.
boys.
Yeah, coming in the lineup. We fucking revamped that band and
Fucking dope.
kicked ass for a few years. It was cool.
That's fucking cool.
Great
man.
experience.
Bury the Hatchet was a band I had with high school friends. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was your side project.
Yep.
And then he kept going with it after Solace broke up.
Yep. And then I stole him from that one.
That's a fucking cool band name. I love analyzing band names.
Oh.
Because there's just, the reason I'm so hard on them, by the way, is because I could never come up with a good one for years. I swear to God, dude, I didn't come up with my first good band name until I was like 26 or 27, and I already been in like a dozen bands. Something like 3 or 4 of them played out. Maybe, yeah, 3 or 4 of them had actually played out. Everyone else was coming up with cool band, and I just like, how do you think of a cool original band name? You know, and I think a lot of people still get challenged with this still to this day. So you just settle for something that's original, even though it's not good, because everything's been taken, right?
Yeah, but then the music kind of makes the band name, like, it becomes one, like, synonymous with each other.
Like Solace and Ashes, terrible band name.
I don't think that's a terrible band name.
Oh, so bad. Come on. Don't be nice.
I'm not talking about the words themselves. I'm talking about, like, the way it flows off the tongue. Like, it's memorable. Like, you can remember that cadence of, like, syllables.
That's funny because no one remembers the name of that band.
Yeah, well,
some people remember the word Solace.
Do.
Some people are like, weren't you Solace something?
Wow.
See what I'm saying?
I get you there. A lot of people with small vocabularies.
Like I told you that with Etheric. I was like, that's actually a cool band name. Remember when you handed me your business card? I was like,
that's right.
That's actually a cool band name.
Oh, yeah.
Like I hadn't talked to you in years.
I wish I had thought of it, but I didn't.
They're hard. They're hard.
Yeah, they are.
They're really fucking hard. Because it is the only one.
In fact,
your logo, you can change your logo 7 times before anybody gives a fuck.
Yeah.
But your name, you only get one. And you're basing your entire identity on that name.
Right.
That's why, you know what? It's good we can't pick our own. It's good that you're named by your parents. Because you'd change that motherfucker 70 times by the time you hit 12.
For most people, that's good. I mean, some people have parents that name them ridiculous shit. And
Alphadon?
Yeah, or whatever. I mean, or if you hate your name, change it. I don't give a fuck. You're not hurting anybody.
Yeah, I ran into that with the podcast, too. Fuck, what am I going to name this goddamn thing? Because everybody's trying to get clever now.
Yeah, with the coaching thing myself, too. I was just talking with my guy who's working on my fucking rebrand.
What is the official name of the coaching company?
Yeah, so it's Kai's Fitness Coaching.
Very simple. Very simple.
Yep, and it's I wrestled back and forth with like, do I want to attach my name to it, or do I want to have it be kind of like its own standalone thing? Like, do I want to be that involved? And I kind of came to the conclusion that for what I'm looking to do, what my approach is, I do need to have my name attached to it. Like, it needs to be very personal. I want to kind of put the personal back in personal training, fitness coaching. It has to mean that to me.
Well, and when you put your name on it too, there's more responsibility. A
little bit, yeah. I've found that
when you put a cute name behind it,
a little differently. Yeah.
You know, it's like you can hide, like, even if it's yours, you put a cute name behind it, a trendy name. It's almost something you can hide behind. But when it's your fucking name, bro, like your last name or your entire name, like mine.
Yeah, I feel like for the fitness space, it's really important because there's so many that try to name something and then they end up polarizing or just like really, like, I can coach with with the name of my company. I can coach anybody. I'm not drawing in like only like alpha male douchebags or whatever, you know, like I'm not marketing to any particular group. I'm marketing to everybody because I do want to try to find a way, and there is a way that.
The only thing I could see is people may not know how to pronounce it, but they're just going to say keys, and that doesn't bug you.
It doesn't bug me at all.
So that doesn't matter. That doesn't alienate your brand at all. Eventually, people will catch on, and it'll be Kai's, and everybody will fucking know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stole mine. A lot of people are like, "Oh yeah, Joe Rogan Experience. Clearly, you stole it from that." I'm like, no, I put my name in there because, for obvious reasons, branding and all that bullshit. And then it's actually an homage to. The only way it's like Joe Rogan is because he also stole his from a musician, the Jimi Hendrix Experience.
Right.
Mine is from the Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza because I think that is the greatest band name of all time. That's where we started this conversation, is great band names.
Yeah.
That's why it's the Jared Singer Extravaganza.
About that. That's great.
And it's because if you look up Extravaganza, it's literally, it gives me the freedom to say we can do whatever the fuck I want.
And I like that about it too. I kudos to you on that because again, like same thing with my fitness coaching deal. It doesn't pigeonhole you into a certain thing. Like you can do whatever you want with it. That's
the trend right now that people are saying with podcasts is if you're going to start one now. So if you started one a year ago, who knows? Maybe if it's not successful, maybe you need to listen to this. But if you've already got some traction, maybe ignore this. If you're doing a long form podcast like what I'm doing, this might apply to you because they were talking about me, not me personally.
I understand what you mean. Yeah,
my style.
Right.
If it's just like this, if it's just you and your buddies just hanging out talking shit, probably not going to go anywhere. It's just overpopulated.
Right.
Now, I got a little bit of a niche because I'm starting like Rogan did with comedy. I'm starting with music.
Yeah.
Instead of going MMA, I'm going NFL. So we've got a little bit of a
dude,
gimmick. We've got a little bit of a gimmick there, but
yeah.
But is what they were saying is like the podcasts that are actually starting now and blowing up, they're very niche. So like murder mystery, cold cases. I don't know why I'm going morbid, but like fucking, and you got to have a catchy name with it too. Like, you know, fucking, I found this one podcast strictly off their name, and I did subscribe because it ended up being pretty good. It's just these two assholes from Texas.
Okay.
And it's called Tacos and Beer.
Oh, nice.
It's fucking awesome.
Simple, straight to the point.
I
wonder what this podcast's about. No, we actually just talk about Italian food.
It's actually, ironically, not a lot about tacos and beer. They don't drink or eat on the podcast. I'm a little disappointed in that, but but it's very topical. So they talk about shit going on, you know, stuff they seen on Instagram, things that very typical.
It's just conversational, basically.
Yeah, it's like a half hour long, but
okay.
And I started with names because I love a great band name.
Yep.
And I will tell my friends, good friends, like, dude, and I've told them on this podcast, like, dude, that's a terrible band name. and here's the thing is they go, I know.
Yeah, most of the time
it's all we could think of. And I'm like, doesn't that fucking suck?
It does.
When you can't think of a name you're proud of, so you just settle for something that isn't
and then you hope the music can fucking hold it up.
Fuck yeah, bud.
That's about it.
Fuck yeah.
You're just like, okay, music, You do the heavy lifting here.
And Bury the Hatchet, where this started, it's such a great band name.
It is.
Because it should have been taken.
Yeah, it should have been. Yeah.
That's how you know it's a great band name, is when you go, how is this not already taken?
Yeah.
You go look it up at USPTO, and you're like, what in the actual fuck? Done. Bot. We're good to go.
Yeah.
We're making T-shirts, boys.
T-shirt company with a metal problem.
I know a dude who he started a band, and they did the classic thing like we did, and they played like 2 to 4 years. They started doing some cool shit. Band fizzled out. Copyright came up for renewal. He did it, but rebranded it as a clothing line, and I can't fucking remember the name of the band. This was a long time ago.
Okay.
Like, this is pre-internet.
Okay.
I was a kid when I met this dude. I was like 13, 14, and that's when his band was doing well. And by the time I was 19, 20, he had already quit and moved on to doing this clothing line.
Right.
And fuck, I can't, but it was a great band name. And that's the thing is he goes, it was too good of a name to just dump down the toilet.
Right.
And I just kept running with it. I got into fashion and started
so that was
clothes.
one thing I had toyed around with, having the fitness coaching be called Body Beneath Fitness. Because that was my thing, Nick Kozicki came up with the name.
That's kind of brilliant too, though, because that has almost a fitness, the body beneath fitness, because it's like, yeah, you can have a fit body, but what's beneath that? What's inside that?
Yeah, it was like a double entendre, layered thing or whatever.
Like the body beneath.
Double entendre.
The body
the
beneath.
Right term for that.
The body beneath is both.
Anyway.
I was trying to ignore it, but
you
just
cool.
wouldn't
I'll
let it
call
go.
Out myself.
You just wouldn't let it go.
Just gotta call myself my own bullshit. I'm not that smart. Anyway.
The Body Beneath was both a brilliant band name and a terrible band name.
Oh yeah,
because it was so obviously death metal.
Well, that was kind of the deal. Is it was it though?
I don't know what the strict definition of death metal is, but it was fucking brutally heavy.
Very heavy band.
To 99% of people, they'd go, "Oh, that's death metal."
It was.
You know what I mean? Like,
very clearly a death metal band for sure.
Death metal's a subgenre of metal, but it's so big because there's so many under it. That's like, whatever, dude. It's death metal. Because it gets too fucking complicated. Oh, we were more of like a post-death grindcore.
You don't need 16 different genres.
Fucking dude, it's death metal. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, just
right.
It's death
Thank
metal.
you.
Yeah.
And even if I'm wrong, just for the sake of this conversation, it's just fucking simpler to just say death metal.
Can we just apply that rule the whole rest of the night? Even if I'm wrong, for the sake of this conversation.
Is what made it brilliant is also what made it terrible. Which is, it was so obviously a very heavy, brutal death metal band, whatever. So anybody who heard that immediately knew what it was. That's both great and exactly what you want, but also terrible and exactly what you don't want at the exact same time. It's literally the other side of the coin.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like that thing where you hope the music holds it up.
Yep.
it was exactly that.
But it's not a bad name. It's not cheesy. No. It was direct. It's to the point. And so if I was looking for death metal bands and I stumbled across that name in a list, I'd be like, yup, that's a death metal band. Let's check them out. But if you don't like death metal, or you're just kind of like on the fence and you're not looking for death metal, maybe I'm in the mood for something else, I'm going to skip that because I'm like, oh, that sounds like death metal. Pass. You see what I'm saying? So that's a weird one. And again,
those are words
I don't
I've
think
actually never spoken, by the way. That sounds like death metal. Pass. I've never said that.
You've never said that, but I have definitely said that on the regular, dude. Death metal, pass. Death metal, pass.
Yeah.
There's very, very rare times that I want to listen to like that.
Really?
But it has happened, and it's happened more, believe it or not, as I've gotten disappointed with other metal.
Sure.
So I used to be in this very thin lane of like very heavy metal, but it wasn't death, but it couldn't be pussy music at all.
Right.
And
so you're into like really heavy, like Kill Switch Engage, As I Lay Dying.
It was more like it got even narrower.
Okay.
Right? But it started there. Yep.
Okay.
Right? And then it got narrower and narrower to where it was like pretty much just Misery Signals.
Hey, we've all been there.
Like, because everyone else is just, ugh, I've heard all of this music a million times. And then it was like, it spiked off and went in, like, Protest the Hero's still a favorite. Obviously, everyone knows I love Coheed.
Yep.
But they're not heavy.
No.
Right?
Protest is pretty heavy.
They can be.
Yeah.
But they do so much that isn't even close to heavy, but it's very elaborate. It's punchy. It's rocky. It's upbeat, but it's not heavy.
No,
you know?
No.
I just went in this weird place where I went completely like in the most drastic angled fork where it was like I went lighter and lighter. And then now when I want to like scratch the heavy itch, I go to the heaviest shit I can find, whether I even know who they are or not.
Nice.
It's the weirdest fucking thing, dude. It makes no goddamn sense. It's like I think I officially graduated to where I only want to listen to music I can't play.
Oh, Jesus.
I think
that's so much music.
I think that's what it's gotten to, though.
Nice.
Because like if I figured it out and I know what you're doing, like if I can literally figure out how to play your guitar riffs in my head while listening to it before I've even picked up my guitar, I think I'm just bored. And it sucks.
Maybe.
It sucks as a music fan because I can't find anything that gets me going anymore. Like I'm so rarely inspired by new music.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's just old shit. Like I'll like rediscover an old musician that I should have been into, but for some reason it didn't click with me. I don't know. You ever feel that way?
Yeah, no, I've gone through times where I've been just completely detached from anything like new that's coming out. I would say that I kind of actually remain in that area, that category for a fair amount of time. Like right now, newest stuff that I've been, and actually you might even like these guys, Depths of Hatred. They dropped a new record that's really good. It'd surprise you. And then bands like Organectomy and Analepsy. Like my buddy Tanner from he's the bass player in Descent of Man. He's really big into like brutal slamming death metal bands and stuff like that. So he's always trying to push the heaviest shit on me.
Let me ask you this. When you're talking about any of these bands or any bands that any of us bring up tonight,
right? When
you go, oh, I listen to them or I'm into them, does that mean you have to also like the actual music, like the songs they're writing? Or do you listen to bands just because I've been starting to do this where I'm not really even that into it, but they're
just
doing
like from an
something.
Analytical
standpoint? They're doing something, and I'm
sometimes, yeah.
I find myself doing that more than actually finding music I enjoy listening to.
Research,
and it's on the new end of things.
Sure.
Like when I'm finding music I enjoy listening to for the pleasure of listening to music, it's old shit. Like, dude, I'm on a fucking ZZ Top kick.
Nice.
I've always liked ZZ Top.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I've always liked ZZ Top. I've never heard a ZZ Top song or an album come on and be like, no, turn that off. Never once in my life.
Yeah, same.
However, I randomly stumbled across a rock and roll induction ceremony with ZZ Top playing something and watching them, which I've never seen.
Oh, okay.
I was like,
oh yeah, I've
fuck,
seen that.
These dudes are good.
That Rock and Roll Hall of Fame thing. I've seen that performance of theirs. That shit's rad.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, no wonder this band was so fucking big. Because I remember being a kid, hearing assholes like us argue about the greatest bands in those eras, the 70s and 80s and even early 90s. You know, and every argument, some guy would
brings
go,
up ZZ Top.
ZZ Top, though. And everyone would go, oh, fuck yeah, you're right, ZZ Top. Oh,
yep.
And they were huge. They drew monster level crowds.
Yep.
And it was never one of those things where I didn't get it or didn't like them, because I've admitted to that with a lot of bands. This isn't one of them. This was one of those things where I finally seen them perform outside of a music video.
Right.
You know, she's got legs.
Yeah, that was a good
No.
video.
I'm saying like I seen that video, and then I was like, dude, these guys are fucking. And I went and looked up a couple more videos, and I'm like, bro, no wonder these dudes were that fucking big.
Yeah.
Because there's just something about them, dude, that
the giant beards, the playing of the blues, the fucking whole aesthetic.
they were
like,
also
all of it, man.
incredibly good, dude.
Oh yeah, no, they're like insane. Billy Gibbons is an insane guitar player.
Oh my.
All that rhythm section is fucking nuts.
Yeah, and they're a 3-piece.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
Yeah,
they're a fucking 3-piece.
They're incredibly unique for they got the whole Texas thing going on, that whole southern kind of vibe.
They go back and forth between singing.
Yeah, exactly. Good.
They were, dude. Yeah, so I'm on a ZZ Top kick right now.
Killer.
But there's one new band that really we've talked about a lot of new local bands and shit.
Yeah.
there's one that I went, wow. And it's in a total genre that you're all going to give me shit about. And I don't even know how to define them, but I think it's like gent, right?
Okay.
Because I've talked so
Who
much
are they?
shit about gent. Have you heard of a band called By the Thousands?
Yeah, I love By the Thousands.
Dude,
All those
are
dudes
so
are fucking homies.
fucking
John,
good.
Dustin.
I
fucking
just
Hondo.
discovered them, dude. They're
Oh, really?
so
Oh, man.
fucking good, bro.
Yeah, By the Thousands is fantastic.
Now, I want to know, because I've heard a lot of bands like that on record.
Oh, don't worry about
Do
them
they
pulling
pull that off live?
Fuck yeah, they do.
Fuck
yeah, they
dude, I
do.
can't wait to see them.
Those guys are fucking badass. I love those dudes.
One or two of them might be coming on the podcast.
Should do that for sure. They'd have a good time. You'd have a good time.
Dude,
They're great
they're
guys.
so fucking good, dude. It was
Yeah.
stupid. I was watching them and I was like, because they got a video out. I don't remember where I seen the video, whether it's Facebook or Instagram,
they've got
or
a bunch of
maybe
videos.
even I ended up on YouTube. I don't remember where it was, but somehow, some way, the algorithm found me.
Right. Of course
They were
it did.
like, and I was like, huh, interesting. Pass. But here's the point. Because I seen By the Thousands and I immediately knew what genre they were in by the artwork and the thing. And I was just like, I'm not into that style of music. Pass. But then immediately that suggested people to follow or whatever or friend. Because I can't even fucking remember. But it was one of the members.
Probably
And I
Dustin.
think one of them is following me. I think that's what it was. Is it was like follow back. And I was like, who's this dude that's following me? Like, and it had all the mutual friends or something like that.
Right.
I was like, interesting. So I clicked it, and it was, I think it was the guitar player for By the Thousands.
Yeah, Dustin's
I was
out
like-
there a lot, yeah.
And I'm like, huh, okay. And they had the link there. I think it was Instagram because it's like link in bio. And I was like, okay. And I clicked it, and I watched one music video, and I was like, wow, dude. So
They're the real deal.
So I immediately put save to later, save to watch later, and watched another one and was
Yeah.
like, all right, dude, these guys seem like they might actually be legit,
Yeah, By
bro.
the Thousands fucks, man.
They totally fuck. They totally fuck. How old are those boys?
They're just slightly younger than us, for the most part.
So they're not.
John's a little younger.
So they're
I
not
think.
kids, but they're not part of the old guard, or are they? Are
Well,
they
Dustin-
from other big
Dustin
bands?
actually filled in and played with Epicurean for a while.
No shit.
Yeah.
So he kind of is part of the old guard then.
A little bit, yeah. He's been around, yeah. And then I can't remember the band.
How do I
Hondo
not
was
know
in
these guys?
before. Dude, they've been around for a while now.
How the fuck do I not know them?
No, because you live in a cave.
You fuck.
I don't fucking know you. How you miss bands, man? Like, what we got going on in there?
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. Sorry for the awkward pause.
Oh
there,
no,
guys.
you're good.
I don't. I think he's referencing how easy it is to make it. No, Pat, you're
It's fucking
no.
hard now.
No,
yeah.
it's not that hard. It's still hard, but it's not as hard as it was.
Backyard Bash. Let's see.
Yes, that was our first show.
I
Was
was
the
trying to
Backyard
get my-
Bash?
Fitness thing going back in the day.
Body by Blake.
Oh,
That's a great name.
It is.
That's a great name. Body by Blake.
I'm sorry. Analepsy? Yeah, I like analepsy. What the fuck?
Now I wonder if he's referring to the name.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
maybe
that's
the name.
what we were talking about was
Yeah.
names, or if he's making fun of you for enjoying
I don't know.
that band.
Maybe a little bit of both.
Pat, we need
That's
you to
fine.
clear that up.
Funny.
The Cardiacs, a band from the 90s. Huh.
Oh, crazy.
I'll have to check those guys out. Send me a link. Text me, Pat. You got my number. Send me a link because I'll forget that shit. I don't watch enough of these back. I won't remember that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm always looking for new music
Yeah.
because there's
And
so
then-
much of it out there, but there's so much of it that's disappointing.
I was going
And
to say, you're
We've beaten it to
disappointed a
death on
lot.
this podcast. I mean, a lot of it's because it's clearly they've never rehearsed in a room together, and it's not a
Right.
real band, and they wrote all this in a computer, and it lacks heart. Like, there's a lot of that out there. And then there's a lot of shit that's just regurgitated, and I've heard it before. And it's just literally, like, I've heard your fucking band XYZ or whatever, and I've heard 7,000 bands that have already done this at a high level even. So it's like, it's hard for me to listen to a band who's doing I'm so fucking hard to please musically. I admit this. I vividly
Are you a little
admit
bit
this.
cynical, maybe?
No, I just like I've been burnt out. I've talked to other musicians about
Are you
this
just sort
too.
of apathetic to new stuff?
Yeah,
or
and I
what?
think it was playing shows with a lot of shitty bands. You know, it's like here's another shitty metalcore band. Here's another shitty new metal band.
I think you need to start playing music again.
I mean, I'm writing it. I'm writing it, and we are trying to get to a point where we can play live. But just like we were joking earlier, we got that drummer problem.
Yeah, well,
there's 3 or 4 really talented drummers that are willing to track, but they're all busy with other projects. So this is on the back burner for everybody. And once we get this demo recorded, I've probably got 6 more drummers that would come play live. But we got to get this EP done. We're doing like 5, 6, 7 songs, something like that.
Nice.
I think it's 5 or 6 songs, and then I have an intro to the record.
I mean, just try to have fun with it, man. Like that's what I came to the conclusion of with it all. Like, just I was putting way too much.
Don't fucking ever tell me what to do again, you fucking piece of shit.
Don't you tell me how to live. What are you, a fucking coach?
Don't fucking tell me what to do.
I am.
No, I just want it to be supplemental income. Like, I don't have to make it. But no, I am going to tour. I am going to fucking try to make it profitable. It's going to be part of my deal. This is all I have now. The government proved to me once again, I can't depend on making money from other people.
Of course not.
You know, I've switched careers 3 times. When I was trying to make it as a musician, I was a bill collector. And then when I was still trying to make it as a musician, I was working in retail. And then I was like, fuck being a musician. I'm just going to go get a real job. And then I got in fucking skilled labor. I ran a press break, a very hard job to get and a very hard job to fill. And then the government came down and shut all that shit down. Eric's taking a leak, so throw in your questions, shit that we haven't gotten to, shit you're curious to hear about from him. Obviously, you guys probably know by now I'm a terrible, terrible interviewer. And while you're doing that, I am going to queue up something I've been working on, so you guys don't think I'm a lazy piece of shit that doesn't actually ever make his own music and just hates on everybody else. You still might think that, but whatever.
Revolution without dancing is a revolution not worth having.
All right, make sure you guys put your questions in the chat too, because I'm a terrible interviewer.
I was.
He peed the whole time.
The whole time.
The whole time.
Song.
The entire song.
Gallon and a half of water every day, folks. That'll do.
Is that what you're really drinking?
About a gallon and a half, somewhere in there.
Fucking lot of water,
That's
man.
a fuckload of water.
I remember when I drank a gallon of water a day. That was really hard to do. I don't even remember why I was drinking.
Fucking good for you. That's why. That's probably it, right?
No, I was doing something.
No, it was something else.
I was doing something.
Yeah.
Was definitely in a band.
Is that where it ends?
Yeah, I think it is.
Dude.
I think it is.
I smelled that brain fart.
I think that's it. I think it was I was in a band and I just drank a lot of fucking water. That's probably what it was, because I was singing, can't drink milk, can't drink soda, can't drink fucking this, can't drink that, you can't do anything, you can't do that. I'd quit smoking, and yeah.
Oh.
We were rehearsing 3 times a week. I was a bill collector. Yeah.
Jeez.
I'm talking a lot too. 8 hours a day. Yelling at people.
Yelling at people about their money. Don't yell at me about my money. Fuck.
I actually tried not to yell. I tried to be ooh. It worked for a while. I made decent money in that industry.
Yeah,
yeah. That's the point. Is like, this is all I got. So I got to get something going in the music. I don't need to make $1 million.
No,
like I don't. But
right.
if I can make a little bit of money doing the music, make a little bit of money doing the podcast, I'll be fine.
Right. Good.
I'll be fine. Because I can't depend on going and getting a
why
job.
Would you?
If the government's going to just turn around and being like, oh, no, shut down. Because I didn't get my job back when they opened things back up. And I knew I wasn't getting my fucking job back. I talked about that on the podcast.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm going to get my job back when they open things back up. That's not how the economy works.
Right.
You don't just turn it back on and go, okay, everybody go back to work.
Yeah. I don't know. I saw it as a great level. We've talked about this before when I've been on, but I saw the whole thing as like a great. It leveled the playing field for a lot of fucking people, and it created a lot of opportunities that if you had a desire to do so, you could, make something out of nothing.
That's why I wanted to have you on in that first run of people, is because there was a theme running there, which was basically people that refused to die. For real. I mean, like, I know I'm greatly oversimplifying it, but it was I watched a lot of people's lives be ruined, and then I watched a dozen people I directly knew personally that immediately pivoted and went into something else. And I was like, oh, these are the motherfuckers right here.
Yeah, the ones who don't know.
I was very proud of you. I was very proud of you for doing that.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. It took
it's
a lot
not
of work.
easy.
It's not easy. It's still not easy.
And it's terrifying as well.
Yeah, it has been scary. At certain points, it's been real
takes
scary.
A lot of fucking balls.
And and it takes a lot of support too. Like I have had a shitload of great support, like my friends and family, and the community and stuff that I operate within, musicians and artists and such that have engaged in my social media or like taken part in one of my fitness programs. That's all homegrown, like that's all in a very kind of happening in a bubble. And I'm very grateful for that. Like, I can't even believe sometimes that some of the people that end up showing support or whatever or engaging in some way,
this is all
form.
you're doing now, right?
No, I mean, I'm doing a whole bunch of shit.
Well, obvious. I'm sorry. That's disingenuous to say, because you are a part owner in this t-shirt thing?
Nope. Not a part owner at all. I mean,
I thought you were taking it over.
Only in attitude, maybe.
I thought you were taking it over, like you were buying it from him, or...
No. So the idea was...
I thought he was like retiring or something. Maybe that's a different friend of mine.
It's definitely not me.
I swear to God.
I work for Ed. Ed owns Inertia Apparel, and I'm just his shop. Like, I just work there. I just print the shirts. He's teaching me the craft of screen printing, and I'm enjoying it. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's got to be somebody else, because somebody else, they got in, dude's going to retire, and he's just going to leave him the business.
Well, oh, yeah, no, that's definitely not this. No, what this is...
Or he's buying the business over the next 2 or 3 years or something.
Ed has 2 other businesses that he runs out of the same place, and he definitely needs help running the printing side while he pays attention to the other things as well. so he can kind of better distribute his attention across his various endeavors. No, I'm good, thanks. But yeah, I'm just there in that capacity. I'm just a helper. That's all.
Sounds like you're not going to have much time for that soon.
I don't know.
Shit's blowing
We'll
up
see.
for you, brah.
We're doing all
Brah?
right. We're doing all right.
Does that bother you, by the way? Is that too much chat energy for you?
Brah?
Bro?
I mean, it's fun if it's ironic.
Bro.
If it's, you know what though?
I realize I start every Instagram video in Texas going, bro. I didn't realize it until I watched a couple of them.
I spent many, many years in bro denial. And the fact that
in bro Nile?
Bro Nile, yeah. Like I wouldn't say bro or whatever, even though it was like my body and my brain wanted to fucking say it, but I would always be like, no, you don't fucking say that.
Do you pull the Jeremy
Idiot.
Blake and just say brother a lot?
I do say brother a lot.
I say brother a lot.
Yeah, and that, I've given up now. I've given up. I just say fucking bro as many times as I want to. Brothers a lot.
Hey, brother.
Yeah.
I can't wait till I have an even deeper voice because you know how your voice just keeps getting lower as you get older.
Yeah.
I can't wait till I have an even deeper and raspier voice. It's the only reason I haven't quit smoking yet. I don't have the right grit yet.
Not quite there.
But I just want to be like fucking, hey brother.
Yeah.
Hey brother. Almost there.
See what you got to do.
Come on, I know you guys got some questions for Eric. He is a fitness /
nutrition,
mind and nutrition coach.
Mind coach, not mindset. Just don't give up on yourself, and that's it. That's the advice I have.
I feel like mine was better.
I liked yours better.
I burp.
True.
I feel like that was better advice.
It was better.
As you live better, be healthy. I'm slamming Coors Light.
Smoking cigarettes. There's actually Captain Kangaroo is actually
Why?
playing on a TV screen right over
Why
there.
do all of that when you can just live like me and look this good?
You're a poster child for healthy living.
I ironically have aged extremely well. I know a lot of people my age that look like shit.
Dude, there's some
Now
crazy
either I am fucking genetically lucky or they lived. There's too many of them though, man. Like a lot of people I went to high school with. They
life
I don't know.
wears
Maybe
on a
they
person,
are
man.
all on
Like,
drugs. Maybe
no.
they are all on drugs. But like,
life wears on a person, man. Like
I got lucky.
Yeah, you got genetic
I
lottery.
still feel pretty athletic too. I still feel like I get sore, man. Fuck, getting old, but I still feel like I could like get on the basketball court and throw down with some fucking 25-year-olds.
Oh,
Maybe if
man.
maybe if I quit smoking,
There you go. Maybe on that.
or just
note,
start
maybe.
jogging.
I don't know if that'd help.
I think it would.
Eventually, it would.
You're gonna piss me off and make me fucking get back in shape just to fucking
Maybe I'm egging you on a little bit, huh?
Here's what's gonna happen though. You'll always probably be able to outlift me, but you're gonna piss me off to the point where here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna show up on a baseball diamond with you in some sort of physical baseball challenge, and I'm gonna be smoking and drinking beer the whole time, and I'm still gonna end up crushing you.
Oh man, I mean that's fine. I suck terribly at baseball, so you'd be at a huge advantage to that.
That's why
I'm good at lifting weights, so I stick to what I'm good at. Not that I don't like to.
What about running?
Nah, I'm not a big fan of it. I don't even advise other people to do it most of the time.
I wonder if
It's really shitty for your body.
I know for your knees, right?
I mean, runner's knee doesn't have to exist. There's a whole knee protocol that I actually am working on.
Let me ask you. Speaking of running and impacting and blah 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 blah, what do you think of those fucking
the barefoot
shoes that Rogan raves about? Like, because I looked into the science and like it does sound legit that we're all running wrong because of shoes. Because you're not.
For sure.
There's nothing. You're not supposed to land on your heel or even land flat. You're supposed to run almost on your toes. And
well, you're supposed to pretend
your whole
like you're
thing acts like a
pulling
shock absorber.
Like that you're pulling the earth instead of that you're running and hitting. It's that you're kicking the earth behind you basically while you're running. You know, you're picturing that instead, and like you're running with your belly button out. You know,
Right.
like,
So your legs are down and behind you instead of.
Well, if you're sprinting, you're going to go knees over toe almost all the time because you get low, you get in an athletic position, you take off, you know, so that's a whole other kind of running or whatever. But like if you're just casual jogging or whatever, then yeah, your legs are basically going to be, you know, straight out in front.
That sounds so
behind
fucking
you.
quiet. I think I know what's going on here. I think I turned this way up.
Uh-oh.
You turn this down and turn you back up.
Turn my headphones up.
Because it seems like it's fine in there, but like you're just so quiet in my head.
Oh, okay.
Now you hear that little buzz though.
That's all right.
Why we need a producer, somebody that actually knows what the fuck they're doing in here. I've gotten this far though.
Dude, you've done well for yourself. This is great.
Thanks, brother. I'll even cheers you to that one.
All right, cool.
I'll even cheers you, even with water. That's supposed to be bad luck, but guess what? It's got bubbles and it's flavored.
It does,
Bitches! You're a bubbly guy, huh?
I guess so.
I like the.
I've been called bubbly before. Yeah.
I like the LaCroix.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have.
I've tried those. I don't like any of those flavors, and honestly, there's only 2 of the LaCroix I can even tolerate, and it's the mango and the tangerine. The rest of them are just like fucking.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's something about that artificial flavoring. They say it's all natural, but I don't see how it's possible.
It's just essential. It's essential oils.
What?
That's usually what it is. It's like
I'm drinking essential oil.
Basically.
Oh man, is that why my shits are so greasy?
No, that's the bullshit you're eating.
I don't have greasy shits.
They're
not.
I'll take your word for it.
They're not.
I'm not gonna stick
greasy.
around
I'll
to
tell you
find
that
out.
much. So what else you got going on, man? What are you up to lately?
Making a lot of music.
Is there anything you can talk about? Anything coming up?
Musically?
Shows, an album?
Yeah, so Descent of Man,
yes.
my death metal band, with my homies from Winona. So I'm from here in the Twin Cities, and those guys are based out of Winona.
Winona?
Yep. And we're working on a new record. Hopefully we'll start tracking some like initial singles and stuff like that for it in June and put them out. We've got a pretty cool thing to announce in for October, but we have to wait on that. Got a kind of a cool little thing lined up here. Some shows
like a wino eating a grape.
Yeah, you have to wait.
You have to wait.
That's right. Yeah. Other than that, just the fitness coaching thing.
Oh, I think that's where Adam pissed everyone off. By the way.
Oh, what was that? Oh, yeah.
Not liking Mitch Hedberg.
Oh. Well, fucking whatever. It's all subjective.
It's a sin in this town.
Yeah, I guess it is.
I think that's what really pissed everyone off. I think they tolerated the ATV shit, but I think when he took the stab at Hedberg, I think that's when people. I think that's
when they really turned on him.
I think that's when people turned on him. Man. He did. He pissed a lot of people off. I was really surprised.
Should we see if I can top it? No.
I could fucking top it.
Yeah, I think we wouldn't have to try.
I'm pretty sure he won't even see this because I'm pretty sure he unsubscribed. That's how butthurt he was.
Oh, no.
If not, dude, I wasn't trying, man. I'm sorry, bud. Didn't mean to make you feel bad.
Womp womp.
For real.
No, I know.
I never intended to do that.
Yeah, you don't want to.
I didn't fucking bring it up. I didn't ask him any of them fucking questions. He threw that shit out there himself. Unsolicited.
Fun stuff.
It was a bad decision is what it was.
That happens.
I just hope he takes what I said to heart because it was all solid advice. Play your guitar every day. Rehearse 3 times a week with your band for 3 hours a night. Do it for a minimum of 3 months, and you will see your band is immediately a tighter, better band. And if not, we need to have a different discussion. And what that discussion is, which I didn't talk to him about, is then maybe we need to start talking about motherfuckers not being in the band anymore.
Sure.
Because if you're rehearsing that much, that often, after that period of time, and you still haven't shown improvement, there's something going wrong. If you're rehearsing every day on your off days, if you're practicing on your off days every day, and then you come to rehearsal for 3 hours a week, after 90 days of that, if you haven't shown any improvement,
well, then you haven't been
practicing. You got to go because no amount of practice is going to make you better now. We've proven that. I'm sorry, but I'm not even at that level. I'm saying just do this first, boom, and then we actually kind of talked about it. Not actually, but we mentioned something also, like play a lot of shows. Like I'm excited to see like Stormbreaker's evolution because if they can get in like 100 shows in a year, that's playing relentlessly, locally, regionally, doing some quick little loops and tours and shit like that. Man, I'm telling you, dude, those boys are going to be fucking monstrously good.
You know who's put in a shitload of work?
And they're already good.
You know who's put in a shitload of work and who's doing a really great job of putting on a fantastic show?
Other than Via?
Yeah, so Via's doing great.
They're fucking working hard, man.
Ninth Planet Out.
Who?
Ninth Planet Out. Check them out.
You fucking check. No, I'm just kidding.
Check them out. Go.
I can't plug. I can't. We can't do that.
I know.
If they come on the podcast, I can play it because then I can say
they're from down in Rochester.
Here.
So
get them up here.
Yeah.
If you know them,
talk to Josh. Yeah.
Get them up here.
Sure, why not?
I'll check out the music.
Yeah, of course.
If they're cool dudes, yeah, get them up here because I can't win a dispute with YouTube unless the guy's on the podcast.
Right. Yeah, to play
for
the
real.
Music. No, I know.
It's fucking dumb.
Yeah.
I literally risk. So Jeremy actually gave me permission to play some Wither the Tide shit, right?
Okay.
And so just randomly one night, somebody was like, "Show me what you can do with that Stream Deck," and I was like, "Boom!" and played the music video. And I got a fucking strike for that, or I got a claim for that, a copyright claim, and I disputed it, and I was like, no, I have permission from the artist, and they denied it, and they were like, you have the right to appeal this, but if you lose the appeal, you get a copyright strike against your channel, and you're only allowed 3 of those, and you're done. It's like baseball, babe, like no exceptions, you're fucking out. So I was like, that shit ain't worth it. So
yeah, probably
lesson learned.
Probably not. Yeah, probably not worth it.
Because even the disputes are kind of a bitch, and I'm going to have to figure this out. I might have to go Rogan and stop doing it because I'm still getting those claims. And once I'm monetized, most of the views come within a week or 2 of the video being out, and it's demonetized that entire time while the video's in dispute.
Right.
So if that trend continues after I'm monetized eligible, I still won't make any money because I'll constantly be demonetized, you know. So I got to figure something out with that. And it sucks because you can't even send an email to YouTube until you have 1,000 subs. But they do these surveys, and I put in there, I was like, I want a way to pre-submit copyright proof, so then I can just get you guys to write something down or sign something. Yeah. These songs, blah 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 blah. So when I play them, they'll get flagged for review.
Right.
But then as soon as they see the attached paperwork, they go, oh, no, he's good. If you don't have the paperwork, then they flag it. Then I dispute it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
give me some fucking leg room here, some breathing room. Because seriously, if a video stops getting views after 2 weeks or a month, the dispute, they have up to 30 days.
Oh, weird.
They have up to 30 days.
Yeah.
And if they don't do anything within 30 days, you automatically win it. But still, if your video doesn't get views after 30 days, then that video makes no money. So it's like,
yeah,
but they're so cool about everything. I really can't even complain about that. It's just, point being is I have to figure out what the fuck I'm going to do as I get closer to 1,000. Because right now I'm not monetized. It doesn't make any difference. I make my money off my sponsors, and that's very small. So we're not even profitable yet. The real money is going to come from YouTube.
Yeah,
when we finally get there.
Yeah, when you get monetized. Sure. Yeah.
Who knows, dude? That could take another year or 2, bro.
Yeah.
Who knows? It could be 6 months from now. It could be a year from now. It could be 3 years from now.
Maybe you'll have a really good guest on here and it'll break.
That's not how it works. Trust me.
No, I don't.
Like my boy Ezra's in the NFL or was in the NFL, and he's got a little podcast. He had Brett Favre on his podcast, 200 views on YouTube. The guest,
if nobody knows, then nobody knows. Yeah, the guest has got to do a little promotion, I guess, at that rate, don't they? If Brett Favre would have said he was on that podcast and been like, hey, I'm going to be doing this.
I don't think so.
No, you don't think so?
No, because, like, I think is what it really is your reach as a podcaster. So when you put out something that so-and-so was on your podcast, there's name recognition, and people are like, oh, fuck, this is one I want to watch.
Yeah.
That's what I think happens, right? So, like, that Ezra one is not even in my most. I had an NFL player on. You'd think that would be my biggest podcast, right? Not even close. Not even fucking close. It's not even in the most popular of mine. Seriously, it's not. Like, it's not even in the top 10.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Like, you'd think a guest would really like a name like that.
Yeah, that's weird.
In fact, it's for me the most famous person I've had on is not even close to the lowest, but not anywhere close to the top either. He's like right in the middle, just a very average. People liked it. I got a lot of text messages like, wow, great podcast, you know, fucking great interview. Like, holy shit, you know, congratulations. But YouTube didn't give a fuck.
No.
People on YouTube doesn't give a
Yeah.
fuck. Like,
Yeah.
and same thing. That same guest, Ezra, had Brett Favre on his podcast.
That did make a dent.
Nope.
Oh.
I
don't know.
It's I think is what people tune in for is a vibe and a community, and that's what we're slowly building here, right? That's why people dig Rogan. That's why people dig Your Mom's House. That's why people dig these other small podcasts that none of us have ever heard of.
Right.
But they're huge fans, as they've built something over time, so people know what they're getting into. And yes, the guest will get certain people to come, like Pat's coming and hanging out with us tonight, right? Dan Nelson sitting here hanging out with us. Shout out to Dan Nelson.
Oh yeah, I see that.
These guys are hanging out. They don't come in and watch every single podcast, so that has to do with you. But these are guys that have already subscribed to the channel, right? And then there's other guys when I have on. There's a whole other crew of people that'll show up. They're all subscribers,
right?
So there is something, and new people will come because you have a different network, shit like that, right?
Yeah. I get what you're saying there.
But it's weird, man. It's fucking, and honestly, I'm talking like I know everything right now, but I guarantee you when I have 1,000 subs, I'll come back and I'll be like, yeah, some of that was true, but actually here's what I think now. Because YouTube isn't telling you how it actually works.
No, of course not.
It's all speculation from what we've experienced.
Right.
You know,
it seems like a very convoluted system, and like,
Wild West is what it is. In the YouTube community, like as a whole, which is basically the entire planet, so people who watch YouTube,
right,
as a platform, it's a thankless bitch. It is a black hole of fucking ego draining, because like you'll put a lot of work in, and I thankfully have a ton of support from you guys. Thank you so much. And I'm being genuine when I say that, but I know and talk to other YouTubers where they just can't get any traction. Some of them are doing really well on other platforms, and they're like, I can't get fucking YouTube subscribers or even views.
But doesn't that mean that they maybe don't have the thing yet? Like they haven't stumbled in, they haven't gotten the thing that will get them there? Like they should keep trying that shit, whatever they're doing. That's they're struggling with maybe, but like, isn't that a good sign to like pivot or like change things up? Or,
maybe you might be right.
Like that should be indicative of like something's fucked up, something's not working.
I wonder if it's
it yet,
I wonder if it's that, or if YouTube. Because here's what I've been leaning towards. Because you might be right, but because I never really thought about it like that. Fuck.
I mean, it can't all be the algorithm, right? Like you've got to have something that sets you apart, that draws people in. I
was thinking it was production value.
Well, I mean,
like I was thinking you can get away. Like, okay, you have 10,000 fucking regular listeners on Spotify. The reason you can't translate to YouTube is there's something. Maybe the expectation level for production value, and maybe that's why I'm struggling, because I still don't have the fancy mirrorless cameras. Well, sorry, they're fucking $3,500. And I need 3 of them. Like that ain't happening anytime soon.
I don't think anything's wrong with your tech or anything.
It's getting better.
Yeah.
We are improving over time, except for the difference in how white I look versus how yellow you look right now. Even though the lighting's identical, I just noticed that now.
I am a bit jaundiced today, so.
Fuck, dude, they're the same camera. I must have fucked something up in the settings, but
no, you changed the light on this one to yellow light versus white on that one.
No, they're both white.
Okay,
they're both the same. They both have that little orange hue in the middle too. Yeah, it's fucking weird. I don't get it. I'm an idiot. I have no idea what I'm doing. Again, why we need hit subscribe. Hey, but that's why. Seriously, I gotta hire a fucking producer, and I can't do that until we actually monetize. So we got to get 1,000 subs. We seriously need to get to that number so I can hire a fucking producer, because I have no idea how to make all of this better. Because honestly, like you just said, the tech's actually not that bad. No. There's guys out there that could get even more out of what I'm using.
There's guys that do, with less. I mean, you had less before, and you were still doing fine. You gotta. It's just like anything else. You got to put the time, the consistency. You got to do the reps. That's what we always say at the print shop.
Right.
You got to get the reps in.
Now, specifically, what I'm referring to is other guys who have like thousands of listeners on Spotify, but they can't seem to get subscribers on YouTube, or they're killing it on Twitch, but they're struggling on YouTube. That's what I'm saying. I think it's almost like an expectation level of the YouTube viewer. Okay. And there you come to YouTube for, God, this is going to sound really weird.
All right.
But I almost think like all those other channels, people are more willing to tolerate like the underground vibe. But when they come to YouTube, they're looking for something that rivals going on Netflix.
Man, I don't know. YouTube, maybe now. I don't know. I always think YouTube, and I'm just like,
that's what I'm saying now.
Trashiest, like the shittiest shit.
Because like the guys that are blowing up on YouTube, the platform is changing. Oddly enough, shit like my shit is actually starting to do better on YouTube now than ever since Joe Rogan left. There's a vacuum for long form podcasts on YouTube.
Yeah, I suppose.
So this format is an exception to everything I'm saying, but where YouTube is going is either you're going like full on Mr. Beast, just straight up gimmicky,
right?
Or it's extremely niche. So like you have a science channel.
Yeah, I've seen all that stuff.
Or you have a woodworking channel or a blacksmithing channel. And the cameras are incredibly high quality. The production value is like, fuck, man, did these guys all go to film school? No, they didn't. They hired producers. They started with 0 subs and a shitty channel. Go back and watch their first video. It looks like mine. Like, for real. I'm not even joking.
No, I know. That's you've been.
I had to have a hard talk with a good friend, a personal friend, sat in that chair a couple weeks ago, and I'm trying to get him on YouTube, and he's like, he gave me all the channels he wanted to do, and I go, okay, here's the deal. I looked up each one, and I had to go in reverse though, and go, I want you to watch his first video. Now look at what he's doing. You can't pull this off. This dude either went to film school or is paid 10 years of dues. There's shit going on here behind the scenes that you're not ready for. Go look at what he did at first. And we did that with and he's like, holy shit, you're right. Okay, he's like, and he finally understood what I meant. I just got to start making videos. Like, I just got to get traction and get going. Because, this isn't, not only is the production value dramatically different from his first video to this one, but it's not even the same channel. Like, he started off doing one thing and then evolved over 3, 4, 5 years. And now his channel has become something completely different than what it was. And that's what I'm talking about.
Well, that's exactly what I was saying. Like, you just haven't found the right thing yet. Like, you've got to keep testing it, keep making videos, keep showing up, I
wonder if it's a combination of the two then.
Probably.
That niche of the content you're putting out plus the production
you gotta
value.
Market, you got to hit the right, you just got to hit the right button, man.
I guarantee you we're circling around the actual truth here like vultures.
I mean,
like vultures, like we're on to something here.
Matter of perspective, I suppose.
And I'm only speaking on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's the whole point to this is like YouTube is hard to make it on, like, and I'm experiencing that. I got to 100 subs in like 70 days.
Yeah.
And here we are 8 months later and I'm still not at 250.
Close.
You know what I mean though?
Yeah, no, I got you. Yeah.
Fucking not easy, dude.
It's
a lot of people get discouraged and quit by now.
Yeah.
That goes back to that battle of attrition thing that we were talking about earlier. That's also in the music scene. Like, do something, keep getting better at it, and don't fucking quit. I swear to God, don't quit is the most important part, though. Because it's almost impossible to not get better at something over time.
Well, yeah, again,
it's almost impossible.
It's just consistency. Like, that's...
Like you said, putting in the reps.
Yeah, you just got to get the reps in.
That's why I think podcasting is way more like comedy than it is music. Because we can go rehearse behind closed doors and get better.
Right, yeah. You got to cut your teeth doing this.
Live.
Yeah, but that's the same thing with you.
Well, not live, but you guys are right.
Live. What's we got here? Maybe onto something then, Jared. YouTube is almost like Netflix, etc. now. People tend to expect that level of production.
I do think there's something to that.
There is. I mean,
but I also think it's what you're talking about too. The content you're putting out, like,
of course,
you can get 200 subs putting out shitty, low quality bass playthrough videos,
right?
But if you want to get to 100,000 subs, the quality's got to come up, and you got to pick a lane. Like, are you doing instructional? Are you showing off? Are you breaking down theory? Like, what are you doing? Like, all of those guys that get to this certain level, they find a lane beyond that initial bass playthrough thing.
I mean, dude, that's anything, right? Like, you got to find what you're good at, what your niche is.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's a combination of that.
Yeah.
What you said, and then the production value. Because I'm just
I don't discount the production value at all, but I think that comes.
It just doesn't make sense to me why you would have 10.
Well,
literally, some of these guys I'm talking to I just don't understand how they have, because dude, they're killing me on the audio platforms.
Right.
But then they come to YouTube and they're like, dude, what are you doing? How are you? Like, we're crushing it on Spotify and we have half hour to an hour episodes or hour and a half episodes. We have all this shit going for us, but we can't figure out how to do the YouTube thing. Like, what are you doing? And I can't give them a straight answer yet, but I think is what I've been suspecting is it's the production thing. Like, honestly, your video is so low quality
Right.
that it's just like, it's people come to YouTube to watch shit.
Yeah.
Whereas everywhere else, you could get away with bad video quality because most people don't care.
Or even like if you're talking like just like conversationally, like an audio podcast, audio only. I mean, you can get by with sub or audio.
I've heard ones that are done on phones.
Yeah,
that are
sure.
good.
Yeah, they're not
like
bad.
I listened to one. Shout out to the Waffle Stomping Boys up in Canada. They do one where they're not even in the same room.
Right.
They do that motherfucker over one of those apps, so they both make a phone call to each other, and it records both sides perfectly. And they put that out on Spotify. They're crushing it too.
Yeah, one of mine that I listen to for personal training stuff is just like that.
Yeah, I think you can get away with that on those platforms, but when you move to YouTube,
yeah, these
people
days,
are here to
right.
watch
people,
shit.
Yeah, they want to watch something.
They want it to look good and sound good, and they're doing a lot of it on their phone.
Yep. Well, and that's one of the reasons the production quality thing is one of the reasons why I haven't really dabbled with making any kind of YouTube content yet, because I don't have the capital to put behind the quality that I know I want to put out for it.
Here's what I'm saying though, unless you can hire somebody, which that's going to be a really long time.
No,
you could start putting out videos now.
Yeah,
and it's almost like this. It's almost like when we were in local bands, right? And we way overhyped our first demo, right? Remember, it was like everything's got to be perfect. Everything, and it's like, dude, no one. This is not the be all end all. No one's ever going to listen to this in the long run. You're going to give this to 50 people who are going to like it because they like you. They're going to show up. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, just put the fucking album out.
Oh, yeah,
move on, record the next one, because it's going to be like your fourth album before you're even the band you think you are.
Right.
Like, identity-wise, not even skill. Fuck skill. Throw that out the window. We've been talking about that. I'm just saying identity, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what you were kind of bringing out, figuring out what you're doing, who you are.
Yep.
I think that's true with YouTube, too. Like, you got to start putting out shitty videos now, so by the time you're ready to hire a producer and put that level of production in,
your videos are good. Yeah,
you'll be ready to, and you'll be ready as the guy on camera.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's smart to come out as a guy, not like if I had Joe Rogan fuck you money and I put all that money into that production and fucking got a producer day one, and then I was as bad as I was day one of this podcast.
Right.
That's not good.
No, you're right. You got to start at the start, right? And just be shitty. It's okay to be shitty for a while.
Yeah.
You're stupid for a
I think
little
you
bit.
got to do that with YouTube.
Yeah, well, you got to do that with anything, really.
I think you do.
You got to suck, and you got to walk, crawl before you can walk and all that.
Yeah, I think you have to suffer from no one watching your videos for a while.
It's the only way to get better.
Yep.
Right here on the shirt.
If you're lucky,
temporary pain,
future
greatness.
If you're lucky, people on YouTube will tell you why your video sucks instead of just giving the thumb down.
Oh, I don't think anyone on YouTube is shy about telling you why your video sucks. That's usually not a problem. Finding assholes to...
I've eaten shit in the comments a couple times on my own videos. And it gives you a sinking feeling.
Yeah, it sucks. I had a guy...
But every time they've criticized me, they're right. And I'm like, I know. I'm working on it. Bear with me.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's good of you to humble yourself before it. And I mean, just don't take it too far to heart,
Like quitting?
Exactly. Yeah, don't let it get that far inside your fucking head.
Some people in chat are laughing really hard right now because I almost quit a couple times.
Oh, I'm sure. I don't know. I can't read any of this shit.
Hold on. I'll read these. It also helps when a video. This is Jeremy Blake. I'm quoting, by the way, in the chat, you guys. If you're listening in audio, if you guys want to hang out and do this, you just got to come to YouTube and watch these when they're happening live. So make sure you come over here, you hit sub, and then you'll get the notifications. Blah 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 blah. It also helps a ton when video gets picked up by a reputable site. Like that old guy who did acoustic cover of Slipknot song.
Yeah,
got picked up by Metal Injection, and now all of his videos blow up. And he has a ton of subs, but his videos are just him with an acoustic guitar and one camera. Yeah. But that's also very, very niche. So it's an old guy playing a Slipknot song on an acoustic guitar. So you've immediately pinged like 3 things in everyone's brain to go, oh, I want to see that. Because it's not like, remember that old dude back in the MySpace days who sang Let the Bodies Hit the Floor? He was like a 90-year-old man at a wedding.
Yeah.
Karaoke.
That's right. Yeah. I do remember that vividly now.
Because it hits the certain buttons that everyone's going to be like, that's fucking cool.
That's going viral or whatever.
Yeah. So, again, not to devalue what he's doing, because he's actually probably pretty good if it actually went viral, but it's so niche. It's an old guy, acoustic guitar,
specific,
metal cover.
But it hit at the right place, right time. It was just,
and somebody picked it up.
Exactly, yeah. So I think that's what he's...
I wonder how long he was doing those videos before somebody like Metal Injection picked it up. Jamie's, pull that up. All the fans and supporters and subscribers, they're not just fans and subscribers. They're all our pseudo producers. Yes.
Yeah.
Because we can't afford one.
Instead of Nadav is Googling, the crowd is Googling.
Fucking Nadav is the worst producer. I don't know how he still has a job.
Oh, it's all just a joke, man. He's actually a really bomb-ass producer.
No, he's not. He's terrible. Have you paid for any of the specials?
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I know it's got its glitches and stuff like that.
But no. He's a terrible producer, dude. He's so bad.
I think you got to take anything that happens on Tom Segura's podcast as a fucking joke.
I paid $10 to watch him, Kreischer, and Warren Sapp.
Yeah.
And the audio was so bad, I had to go into OBS and watch it through OBS and
so
put compression on it.
I don't know. I don't think he's actually. I think.
He's an idiot.
I guess.
Fire Nadav. Hashtag fire Nadav.
He's an acquired taste.
You think it's all a gimmick? You think the whole thing's a bit?
I don't think the whole thing's a bit. I think there are actual technical glitches and things like that happen, but I think that a lot of it's a bit.
I
think
you're probably right. I'm probably wrong. You're probably right. But the only reason I'm holding on to my theory at all, which is not very strong, is because I've seen the rage in Tom Segura.
I think that's authentic.
When he's like, and you can hear he's whispering, and he's like, why can't he in Google? Like, why is this? God, I just want to walk in there and strangle him right now.
See, but I think that's the bit. Like, that's the thing, is that like Tom's angry all the time, and I think it's really quite the opposite. I think it's a really solid bit. I think it's a really great bit. I think they stumbled into it as they were making the podcast once Nadav came on board. And it worked really, really well, and it got a lot of fucking laughs. They had fun doing it, and I think they just stuck with it and rolled with it. And then that's when they got into that lane of
you asked me earlier, I may not be cynical, but you are extremely fucking optimistic, bro.
I've been known for that, yeah.
You are incredibly optimistic. So to answer that question, no, I think I'm just a realist.
Sure.
Because I am very optimistic at times. A lot of people, man, call me a dreamer. You know, they'll be like, dude, you got your fucking head in the clouds, you know, like, I'm definitely not a pessimist or cynical, but I also do not indulge delusions.
Oh, sure.
And I know where I rank as well. So, like, on the musician scale of how good I am and, like, where I rank in wealth and, like, power and fucking how good of a husband I am. Very self-deprecating, but I'm also my own biggest cheerleader, you know?
Sure. I think that's important.
So, it all eventually balances out, whether I'm talking about myself or others. I consider myself a realist. Like, nah, that motherfucker's not going to make it. I'm not being a hater. I'm also not going to fucking sit here and pretend like
I think it's
that motherfucker is actually going to survive the gauntlet that is the entertainment industry.
Right.
And then there's also a lot of guys where I'm like, listen, man, I'm telling you, that dude, he's got it. And everyone's like, you don't know who the fuck you're talking about. Sure as shit. A few years later, that motherfucker is the only motherfucker that survived out of that band. You know, some shitty local band that we all knew, and I'm like, but that dude, that motherfucker's got what is. I'm telling you, bro. And that's like I said, I wouldn't consider myself an optimist, but I definitely don't think I'm cynical or a pessimist.
I think I'm necessarily an optimist either. I do have a very positive outlook in general. I try to find the. It's not even spin, you know. It's just like. There's got to be, if this negativity exists, then in order for that negativity to exist, there has to be a flip side and an in-between, you know? And I think that...
What about when somebody just rubs you the wrong way? When somebody just fucking irritates you?
They've got to know it. They'll know it.
You think they know?
They'll know. Because I'll let them know. I'm not shy about that shit.
Because I've always felt that way about other people. Like, God, I just can tell.
Yeah.
I bug that dude.
Oh,
like,
I know. I definitely know when I
that bugs the shit out of him.
I'm aware of when I bother someone. For sure. I try not to do that. Other times, I don't give a shit.
I bet you my list is longer.
Yeah, probably. You can win that one. I'll give that one to you.
I didn't want to.
No,
but thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Oh, shit, the Vikings are finally on the clock. So, yes, a bunch of you are probably like, man, I'm surprised Jared's doing a podcast on the night of the NFL draft. Well, guess what? I'm watching it right now on my side screen. Vikings are on the clock right now. There's 3 minutes and 30 seconds left until we pick. Everyone is saying we need to draft either an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman. If you're still saying defensive line, you got some research to do because the Vikes defensive line is deep and stacked. We got Danielle Hunter on the left side coming back. We got Michael Pierce in the middle, along with that fucking other dude we just signed. I forget his name off the top of my head, but that guy's a beast.
Me too. I can't remember for the life of me.
Are you a football fan? Are you?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I didn't think you were. That's why I told you. I said
I appreciate the athleticism, and I love watching. I can watch a game and have.
I told you before we started. I texted you. I said it might be a little weird tonight because the draft's on, and I'm going to have it on in the background.
We're just hanging out anyway.
And then on the right side, we've got a bunch of cats that are young and up and coming, including this dude DJ Wanham, who I do believe I've admitted I was wrong about DJ Wanham. One of the very few times I have swung and fucking missed because I not only said nah, I went as far to be like this dude is a fucking bust. He's got a low motor. He's exploiting undersized, younger offensive tackles in the college ranks. NFL, he's nope. This guy's gonna I will be surprised if Zimmer keeps him on the roster come starting the season. Not only was that part wrong, but that motherfucker showed out. Like that dude threw down, and
he just had a bad day.
No, I honestly now after seeing him in the pros, I actually need to go back and rewatch that college film. It could have also just been psychological. He could have been on a shitty team. You know, he might have been. I don't know though. But the Vikings were shitty last year. I don't know. I can't give you a straight fucking answer. It looks like the pick is in. Somebody Slater.
AC
Slater, offensive tackle. Northwestern. Fuck. I need to call Scotty. We need to. I'll call him in a little bit. Scotty knows everything about offensive linemen in the NFL. Dude. I know the guy he wanted was a guy named Cosmi. Cosmi. And is that really who we picked, or did we trade? He's a guard? Oh my God! Please tell me the Vikings didn't draft a fucking guard in the first round. You have no idea what I'm talking about.
Nothing at all. Yeah, I got nothing for you here, pal.
It's a great podcast.
Good idea having me on tonight.
Jesus Christ! Well, this was planned. We book out a couple months.
Yeah, this was planned.
I wasn't joking though when I honestly contemplated trying to reschedule with you.
Okay.
But when the whole thing didn't come together properly, and it was so last minute.
Yeah.
I was like, I might be able to pull this off, but I know I can sit here and hang and have a good podcast. Whether it's fireworks and we got high rate, I don't care. I don't chase ratings. I was like, I know I'm going to enjoy hanging out with my boy.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not canceling unless I know I'm going to give a banger of a draft night. And so when it was like a lot of ifs and maybes and like, I was like, nah, I'm just going to fucking roll with Eric and I'll just pay attention to it. I mean, it's one pick. I haven't really paid attention to anything until I seen the Vikings logo and the fucking thing. I could probably turn it off now. Yeah, I'll sorry guys. If you guys are serious football rubes, I'm not going to call Scotty tonight. We're not going to do any weird football shit cuz Eric's not a football fan.
I just don't know specifics.
And you should probably be borderline obsessed if you're going to be, because honest, I'll tell you what, if you guys want real draft coverage, I'll even say this takes fucking balls. If you guys want real good entertaining draft coverage, go watch Tom Grossi, Grossi. He's a Packers fan. Guy's fucking hilarious. I watched the NFC Championship game with that guy last year.
Yeah.
Not only did I subscribe, I donated money to him.
That good, huh?
Dude, he's a Packer fan. And even I subscribed and gave him money. That's how good it was.
That's the rivalry, huh?
That's how like legitimately funny and entertaining it was. I turned down the TV and listened to him commentate the game.
Oh, there you go.
It was fucking,
that would be more entertaining.
Well, they also got their asses handed to them.
Sure.
So part of the entertainment and part of why I donated the $5 was to kind of revel in his misery.
Sure.
As a Vikings fan, it was really
great.
great.
And they're like, fuck you.
It was so great to watch Tom Brady roll into Lambeau Field and beat the living shit out of the Packers.
I watched a little of that game.
Oh, it was great. And then listen to Tom Grossi lose his fucking mind in the background.
That is always fun when someone is
the
like
meltdown.
That's almost worth watching a game with people that are really into football. Like, if I'm gonna watch a football game, I love to do it with real fans, because when they lose their fucking shit and they just go ape, I'm like, oh god, that's fucking hilarious. Like,
have you ever seen it on the positive side? Like, have you ever been there for like a huge moment where they win?
I mean, it feels great. That's that whole like,
man.
Yeah,
that
you don't have to be a fan to appreciate that.
That's usually what gets people into football.
Right.
Is they're at a bar and they see this game and this team win, and it's the whole bar goes nuts, and they were like, dude, that was fucking cool, man. And they start tuning in because you want to see the next one and the next one and the next one.
They want that hit.
Yeah, chasing that horse, baby.
Right.
Man, I gotta say, I'm not cheap beers, cheap shitty beers. I'm covering up the logo on purpose. They have their place, man. I can fucking slam, especially like today, where the last 2 days I've been doing actual work again. Now that it's nice out, feels good to not be a lazy fuck. I was never lazy.
I was gonna say
that's disingenuous to myself. I've worked my ass off on this podcast all winter long down here, fucking booking and fucking working on production shit. But
a lazy man.
It still sucks. We still need a producer, but nonetheless, I've done real work the last 2 days, and so I've got that metabolism going again.
Oh.
So, dude, I can sit here and pound these cheap, shitty light beers, and I will like fucking barely catch a buzz by the end of the night. Nice. This is like my third one. I'm like, it's like I'm drinking water.
I mean, mostly.
If you're drinking 3 IPAs, you got a nice little buzz after
That's
3
true.
IPAs.
Yeah.
Like
I got a nice buzz after looking at a fucking IPA. I don't have a tolerance anymore.
See, that's what I wanted to avoid when we talked about it at the beginning of the podcast. That's the shit I'm talking about. Because who's your idol? I hate that word. Who is the guy who could get you to drink no matter what, no matter where you're at? He goes, no, let's drink tonight. Let's get fucked up. And how long are you gonna last?
Oh, don't worry about that.
Put in the work, bud.
Nah, I don't even need to practice that. I don't need to. All my years of experience, that'd be muscle memory coming back.
Fuck, you just said you get a buzz looking at an IPA
because
you have no tolerance.
But here's the deal. I can be convinced to like, if I'm in that moment and I'm like, and somebody's like, we're going to fucking have a night. Like, Copy could twist my arm up enough to get me to fucking do it now if he ribbed me enough and was like, come on, man, let's fucking go out and party or whatever. And
What about like a big name, something that everybody? I want to hear from you guys too. Who is the guy? Who's the guy or gal? No, don't do gal. Don't do gal because you fucking perverts. No, don't do gal. Who's the guy? And unless you're a gal, then you could put another gal. Unless you're a lesbian, then you have to put a guy. This is getting way too complicated. Somebody you're not sexually attracted to, who you would be that type. We live in a complicated world.
No, we don't.
This should have taken 2 seconds.
Bullshit. Don't do
this
any of
this should have taken 2 seconds. Someone you're not sexually attracted to who could get you no matter what you have to do the next day. They're like, nope, we're drinking tonight. I want to see that. Who would it take? For me, it's not a short list. There's several people on that list.
Yeah, I was going to say there's quite a few people for me on that list.
I think I named 3, right? The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I'm not even a big wrestling fan, by the way. I just think those two are cool as fuck. And Kreischer.
Right.
Off the top of my head, those 3.
Yeah, I mean, I would gladly drink with all of those guys.
I'd risk getting fired if I had a real job. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, all that anyway.
Dude, I'm not going to make it today.
Quit your job.
I'm not going to make it today. Why? I was out drinking. Listen, if you don't make it, you're fired. Listen, it was stone cold. Fuck you.
Yeah, I'm not coming in. He stunned me through a fucking table at a restaurant. We were hammered. I'm not coming in. My neck is killing me.
I almost thought you were saying a real story first.
Oh, no.
For one second, I was like, he did.
No, God, no. That's funny. I've never been stone cold stunned through a fucking table before. Although someone's probably wanted.
Do you want to?
Someone's probably wanted to. Time or two. Probably said some shit.
Dude, you're so chill and laid back. You look like a midget compared to me in these cameras every time
man,
it switches.
I'm just.
We're the same height.
Yeah. Poor posture.
No, you're just chilling. You're laid back.
Chilling.
If I did that too, I'd.
The weed.
See?
Yep.
See, now we're like the same height. So this chair fucked up.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with this chair. I got to figure it out because now if I'm not careful, I'll lean back so far, my feet don't even touch the ground.
Yeah. Funny. You're dangling.
Awkward.
You're dangling.
Jeremy Montoya keeps joking that he's going to donate new chairs to the podcast because he hates the chairs so bad.
Oh, really?
I'm like, dude, you've done the podcast once. He's like, but I've been over there to hang out several times, and they're bullshit chairs.
I mean, he's not wrong. My back is killing me. No, I'm just kidding. This fucking chair's fine.
That's why you guys need to go to the Patreon and hit sub.
Yeah, right.
Patreon.com/Jared Singer Live. You can join for as low as $2.99 a month. For real though, that's the shit.
Are there any sales at all?
The top 2 tiers are on sale. They were originally $5 and $10, and now they're $4.20 and $6.90.
Support your friends, pay full price. That's just it. Support your friends and pay full price.
But that actually is what that shit's for, is because like I know that's what the Patreon's for, is because I know I'm gonna have to upgrade gear before we monetize.
Yep.
So one of these days I'm just gonna get hit with like, oh dude, your computer's fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Or
that's why I just bought that new gear.
Yeah.
For my business.
Yeah, because it just shits out one day.
Yeah. Well, I've got jank ass laptop and desktop right now, and
honestly, I swear to God, dude, that's the only thing I'm terrified of. Is one day I'm gonna come down here and the computer's not gonna work.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna need to go drop $1,000,
yeah.
and I'm not gonna have it because I just dropped $1,000 on fucking lumber to build the deck or whatever the fuck as a homeowner is gonna pop up. You know what I mean?
A million things.
That's the only thing I'm actually worried about, because I know I will get better at this, and it's gonna keep growing like it has been, and the support we've gotten has just been. Honestly, it sounds so cliche and contrite almost to be like, oh, it's overwhelming, but like it really has been, because I was legit gonna quit 2 different times, and one of those times, luckily, an actual professional that we know who was in the industry reached out and he's like, dude, I'm a huge fan of your fucking podcast, man. If I'm ever in town, would you ever want to have me on? And I was like, fuck yeah.
Nice.
Holy shit. In fact, I was just about to quit, but the fact that somebody like you, an actual pro, says they like what I'm doing,
a little validation goes
I can't
a long
be
way,
doing
huh?
everything wrong then. Maybe I'm being too hard on myself. And it literally, I almost quit one more time before that, but similar thing happened with a buddy.
Dude, I can't tell you how many times, even just in this journey to build this fitness coaching thing or whatever, like how many times I've been like, no, that's it. I'm not. There's no way I can do this. I'm out. Fuck it. I'm just gonna get a job and fuck off.
Last time you were here, we talked about content. We talked about me and you making some content.
Oh yeah.
You down to start doing that soon?
I'm working my way there. If that makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Explain.
I'm focused.
And I didn't mean that in a rude way.
No. I know. No, not at all.
I literally don't know.
Building my client base really strong.
So you literally just don't have time or energy to divert at all.
I'm coaching like 42 people right now.
What if it didn't divert though? What if we could figure out a way to pull it off where
No,
I
there
come
will
work
be.
out with you and I get somebody else to come film it?
No. I mean, I have. So that's what I mean. Like, I have all those things are in place that I've worked out arrangements with professionals. You mentioned like getting people to do, like production quality and stuff like that. Like, I've got from the music side of things, kind of transferring that over to the fitness side of things. Production value and stuff is going to be on point, very planned out. So we're inching our way there.
I need us to find a place where at least just for a couple shots, I can pretend I'm working out
Okay.
while ripping cigs
Oh,
and drinking a beer.
I
You
mean,
know what I mean?
you don't even have to pretend. You can just do that.
I mean, I'm gonna try,
Yeah. Well, I mean, you'll be.
but it's
all
gonna
right.
be way funny. There's two ways it goes funny. Because I want to make funny content. I don't
course.
want to make that stupid douchebag workout content. I want to make myself a joke, and I want everybody to laugh at me
Right.
at my expense. Because I
Okay.
don't care why you're laughing as long as you're laughing.
Right.
You know, it's the greatest feeling in the world.
Absolutely.
And I'd love to be able to actually. The only way it gets funny though is if I'm actually able to fucking like outpace somebody
Oh, sure.
while ripping cigs and
Drinking beer?
drinking beer, or I'm absolutely exhausted
dog
after
shit,
like
yeah.
3 reps and
Yeah.
just.
Well, I can make sure that happens or doesn't happen. What would you like me to do for you?
What's funnier?
I don't know. We could just shoot it both ways.
Yeah, actually, that's what we'll do is we'll shoot it at the beginning and I'll just be fine.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the workout, we'll do it again
Yeah.
and I'll just be fucking dead.
Just wrecked. Yeah.
I'll have a hard time inhaling a cigarette.
Have to hit you with that EpiPen just to get you going again.
I think it would be much funnier if we made a mockery of me because of my body. Because I'm so skinny and scrawny
Oh,
and
just because
lanky.
of the lankiness.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think it would be much more entertaining if
I think it'd be
we
more
ridiculed
entertaining
me.
to put like 40 pounds of muscle on you and just watch you just go beef on some fucking weights. But that's just me.
That'd be cool. I don't know if it'd be funny.
I think that the process of getting there, when I'm like force feeding you steak, would be pretty fucking funny. Eat the meat, idiot! Eat the meat.
I got a much different image in my head just
I
now.
know you did, and it was intentional.
Hey, shout out to Jamie. Thank you for dropping in chat. Yeah.
Thanks, Jamie.
I just think it's hilarious how we keep getting these bumps and subs, and then I say or do something and I lose a handful of them.
That's how it's gonna go. You'll find
I'm a polarizing individual,
You can be.
but I'm always right.
For the sake of this,
And humble too.
remember, for the sake of this conversation, you're always right. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just roll with that because it makes
Yeah.
the conversation. No. I'm not always right. I think is what I do fail to do though sometimes is differentiate between when I'm talking like on something I know and I'm like, no, dude, this is how it is versus my opinion on like
Oh, sure.
taste or style.
Okay.
And I think I blur that so I come across like, oh no, I know everything, and if you don't agree with me, you're an idiot. And that's never my intent. If I do that, I apologize to everyone. I've been working on that for 20 years now. And I've gotten a lot better. You didn't want to know me when I was 25. That's all I'm going to say.
I got
You
a
didn't
brief,
even
I
we've
got a
talked
brief
about
glimpse.
this. We've talked about this. You didn't even like me when we first met.
Not
There's
even a little bit.
There's a few and I thank you for admitting that because there's a few cats that I've joked about that with on the podcast and they're like, no, that's not true. And I'm like, motherfucker, I heard people tell me like you can't stand me.
Right.
And it took years to become your friend.
Right.
And rightfully so, because like I said earlier, I was a piece of shit.
Well, really, for me, like I never really had many interactions with you. We didn't play a lot of shows together or anything like that
Yeah, and
necessarily.
I think you only met Jared Lee Roth, which was the adrenaline high, the ego high.
actually only saw
coming off.
I saw you. I didn't even actually ever meet you. And so
That's even
it was
worse.
not even
if you
necessarily
just observed Jared Lee Roth.
I didn't even actually know you at all. I just knew your reputation at the time, and that was enough.
Shout out to Deco. Shout out to Deco. Let's catch up on a little bit of this chat.
Oh sure.
Holy shit, Eric. We've already been going for over 2 hours. Fuck, bro.
Oh, what time is it?
Time flies hanging out with you. It's only like 9:20
Oh
But-
shit. Okay. Well, I do got to go pretty soon.
because we started
Little
right
yeah.
on time.
Yeah.
Like we started right at 7. But holy shit, dude. Time flies when we're hanging out, dude.
Yeah, man. Talk about whatever.
That's how I judge the podcast, is like how fast did it feel like it go? Like, did it feel like we were here for 4 hours?
We've done that.
If it did feel like 4 hours, then there was something where it felt like, why did we go 4 hours? Because I've never done 4 hours knowing it was 4 hours. I just remember Deco's comment from a while back. I was ranting about Pantera's shitty tone from Dimebag Darrell back in the day. Because I get it, Pantera's a great band, but that tone wasn't good, and I just I don't flatter this idea that was good tone. Like,
it was original tone.
You liked it because you're a fan of him, not you, but the proverbial you. But like, dude, that's not good tone, because as soon as I think it's Reinventing the Steel, where he flipped to a new rig, and I
think that's when he got that Crank endorsement.
Dude, that was good tone.
I don't know much about Pantera.
But Deco with the fucking comment of the century. He's like, show me on the doll where Pantera touched you. I fucking love that guy. I was so honored to have him come in from out of town, dude, to do the podcast.
It's awesome.
Stayed overnight, and we went out to lunch, did the podcast, then fucking went and grabbed breakfast the next morning. Fucking love that guy.
Awesome.
Shout out to Deco. Frank something. Oh, that's the old guy. That's who he was talking about. Frank Watkinson. So that's the dude who is making those videos. Is what I'm curious about, though, dude, is how long he's been making those videos. Like, has he been making those videos for 2, 3, 4 years before someone finally caught on, even though his production quality isn't great? Or was that his first or second or third video? Or was that his 100th video? Like, because there's a lot of shit that goes on there, too, where he might have a fucking nephew who works at Metal Injection. And his nephew's the one who's like, Grandpa, you need to fucking,
that could have been a whole bit too.
Yeah.
That could have been a whole thing where like he dude's
kid
is a metal fan or something.
And to go back to your question, somebody might go, dude, see, no, you are a cynic, because look how you just went negative with that. To me, that's not negative. This is my analytical brain fascinated on how things happen. Like, when something gets successful, I'm not hating on it. I want to know why it got successful. I want to be able to analyze that and digest that, whether it's sheer talent, whether they knew the algorithm and it went viral, whether it's something.
How'd you do it? Right?
Yeah. Like you're interested what's the magic that happened here?
Yeah.
I'm just, even if it didn't pertain to me, that's just how my fucking brain works, you know? Like, I'm obsessed with the weirdest shit on like how certain things were invented and evolved over 100 years. Whether it's an engine or a transmission or it's just dumb shit. Like, that's what gets me to tick, Like, fuck, man, look at these guys on these lathes and how they turn all this crazy, fascinating wood. Like, I wonder what that process was, if you could, like, time-lapse 2,000 years of woodworking and see the evolution across the world on how this skill evolved. That's the shit. It's a lot of wood. It's a lot of wood. That's what fascinates me, though, man.
Yeah, that kind of stuff is.
These motherfuckers are all talking shit amongst themselves. That's what's going on.
I see that.
He's got the boobs to be a cheerleader. Fuck you, Deco. He said we're all aware when Jared bugs someone.
Yeah. Funny.
Is that a shit pan? Is that what that next emoji combo is? A shit on a plate? Shitting on a plate?
Hot plate. Yeah, fun stuff.
Oh, Tuesday night. Yeah, I did get a little hammered on Tuesday night. I didn't realize I got that drunk either. I never felt that drunk. But even Deco was like, yeah, there was a period after the podcast we were just hanging out, and there was just a moment where you just went glossy-eyed, and you were like talking to us, but you weren't really talking to
through
us.
You. Yeah, exactly.
I don't remember that. I don't remember feeling that drunk. I remember having a nice buzz.
Right.
But man, I woke up fucking Friday morning with the worst fucking hangover I've had in years.
Felt that shit, huh?
My head was pounding, like the headache, where it was like just turning your head from side to side felt like your brain was slamming into the side of your skull.
None for me.
Brutal.
Thanks. I'm good on that.
I'm telling you, it's that fucking whiskey. I got to quit drinking whiskey.
There you go.
I get beer, I seem to be fine, but that whiskey, man. What else do we got here? Back in the day, Jeremy Blake, back in the day, it was always Rain and I who were the devils on each other's shoulders. Oh, yeah, talking about getting fucked up.
Oh, yeah,
talking about, because I ask, who's the guy that you need to get you off that? Yeah.
I mean,
like who's the name? Who's a famous? Because now you've had a few minutes to think about it.
famous person that I'd really want to.
Where if you just ran into him and they clicked with you at a bar or something and you're sober and he's like, dude, I fucking like you. Let's get hammered tonight. And you're like, I can't, dude. I got to work tonight. And he's like, no, dude, we're getting fucked up tonight. Who is it? I gave you 3 off the top of the dome.
Dude, fucking, if Stallone wanted to get hammered with
Stallone?
me, Stallone would be it.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, if Stallone was like, hey, yo.
Fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
I'd be in.
That's a great one, dude, because he's a badass. He is not like a typical Hollywood actor.
Nah.
Like, have you heard the stories about how when he's like doing fighting scenes and shit?
I know all about it.
He breaks ribs.
Yep.
And fucking gets sent to the hospital.
Yeah, I've got his fitness book that he put out.
Hit me harder, harder, make it look real. Broken rib. He's going to the hospital. I'll be back in a week.
Yep, and he did. Yeah, and he does. No, so I would definitely that.
Stallone. That's a great one.
Yeah, Stallone or Schwarzenegger, any of those guys. I would not like if Steven Seagal asked me if he was like, hey, I really want to have a drink with you and hang out. I'd be like, no, man, I'm good.
I'd be more.
I'd
be more enticed to fight him than I would party. with him.
No way! I don't want to do that. I mean, no, he knows way more about fighting than I do. So. I mean, he's been doing martial arts for like 85 years. Remember?
I mean, if you want to call it martial arts.
All I know is that I watched Hard to Kill when I was 13, and I've been afraid of that guy ever since.
There was a period of time where he had an ability to look really good on camera.
Yeah. I mean, his movies were big back then.
Here's what you wouldn't want to do with Steven Seagal. You don't want to bum rush him. Because that Aikido shit
he's just using your own body weight against you.
Yeah, and momentum and shit. Yeah, but honestly, man, you could fuck that dude up because he's not a real martial artist, dude. Like, that Aikido shit is really good at avoiding... especially a bigger guy trying to tackle you or grab you and bring you to the ground. It's really good to just keeping your balance and keeping your base so you can strike or grapple. So like you're going to the ground, but you don't want to go down this direction. You want to go down that direction. You can shift that. Even if you're on the bottom as you're going down, there's just little tiny things about controlling movement and momentum. My uncle's big into that shit, but
crazy.
He also did a lot of real martial arts, and my uncle will fuck you up. And he's a little dude, like a little guy. He's like 5'5". That motherfucker used to run around. He used to run in the middle of the night. We'd be all partying at the cabin. I was a little kid, and somebody would stand on a picnic table, like a full-grown adult. So they're 9-10 feet off the ground.
Right, their head.
And they'd light a cigarette, and they'd put it in their mouth, hold it out, and Jed would run from fucking... I don't know how many yards out, and 9-10 feet in the air, he would jump up and kick nothing but the cherry of the cigarette off.
Right. Yeah, I've got some buddies from like Iowa when I was a little kid that were Taekwondo, big Taekwondo guys, and they grew up doing competitive Taekwondo, and those guys can fucking fly through the air and just precisely take off, like you said, like the cherry off the end of a cigarette type stuff.
Yeah, my uncle was like what you old school would have been called a mixed martial artist. Now,
I understand what you mean,
hear mixed martial arts, you think, and then you think, well, and that's the one. When they hear mixed martial arts, everyone thinks jiu-jitsu.
Right.
That's not what this was back in the day. This just meant he did karate, he did taekwondo, he did Muay Thai, he did kickboxing. Yeah, there was no grappling. Like all the grappling, jiu-jitsu, that no one knew about that back then.
Yeah, that was all still down in Brazil.
Yeah. It was wrestling, and he wasn't a wrestler. He wasn't a wrestler. He was a martial artist. And back then, you would have called him a mixed martial. Because back then, guys had like usually one thing they did.
Yeah,
he was one of the only people that was into all of it. Did a bunch of national shit. I actually wouldn't be surprised if like literally Joe Rogan knew my uncle. Like if I ever met Joe Rogan and I was like, hey, have you ever heard of my Uncle Jed? I'm not going to say his last name on the internet. No. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's like, God, I do recognize that name. Because my uncle was not to be fucked with. He was a legit badass. And he's still a squirrely motherfucker. Like, even at his age.
He's spry. He's very spry.
Honestly, man, even at his age, I would take him in a bar fight. On my side, I'd take him over like 3 normal dudes our age, even if they're jacked.
Well, if he's jumping through the air, kicking the cherries off cigarettes.
Even at 60 or 70 or whatever it is, I'm telling you, the dude is still a fucking monster.
Yeah.
Like, once you reach that level, it's like, ooh, I don't want to fuck with that
shit
dude.
Doesn't leave you.
He was the first one to teach me a lesson about people smaller than me because I got bigger than him pretty quick, and he taught me a lot. And he was the first one to teach me that lesson, and then I learned it many times after that. Dude smaller than me. Fuck me up on a regular basis, dude.
Yeah.
If you're bigger than me, it's like a coin flip. Like, you could be bigger and stronger than me.
It's like how fast you can run versus how fast they can run, or?
No, I'm saying like a fight. But those little dudes, guys smaller than me, like, I think way harder about fighting a guy smaller than me. Those motherfuckers are like bulldogs, dude. Fuck with them, man.
I'm not a fighter anyway.
Those fucking little guys, man, they'll knock your ass out. Not literally, but they'll fuck you up, and you won't. It's fast.
I've seen some very spider monkey-esque little guys just come in like a fucking pit bull and.
The bulldogs are the ones that really fuck people. The ones that are built like Rogan. He's like 5'6". He's like 210, just murdering people. And they look like him too. Like those short dudes, the bald dudes. Don't fuck with those dudes. Don't. Just pass. Let them take your money and move on.
Here, sir, have all of the. Yes, this is everything in my wallet.
Take my wife.
Yeah, here's my wife. Yeah.
I'll be back for her at midnight.
Before she turns into a pumpkin.
For real, though, man. Those little dudes don't fuck around.
No, they don't. Well, hey, man, I got to get going. This has been a great time, though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Plug your shit one more time.
Kai's Fitness Coaching. Online, you can just send me a friend request on Facebook.
KaisFitCoach.com.
KaisFitCoach.com if you want some details. You can
links in the description, guys.
Yep, got links there. Descent of Man is the band I'm currently...
Does that have a site yet?
There's no website for that. I mean, we're just on social media as
Descent
of Man. Yeah.
All right, dude.
Yeah, good times.
Thank you again, brother.
Hell yeah.
Thank you so much for doing this, man.
Yeah.
Thank all you guys for being in chat and hanging out with us. We'll just double check. There's no crazy last questions or anything.
No, nothing.
So his oldest video is at 5 years ago. That guy.
So he was out there
he's
hustling.
even been at it for a while.
Yep.
So he didn't have no uncle or nephew or something. That's what I meant to say, nephew, because he's an older guy.
Well, maybe he still did. Maybe nephew didn't get involved until hey, I know you've been making these videos, but what you should do is cover this Slipknot song, and I bet you anything, we put that out there, that might hit.
Jeremy says he might do it down with the Unearth guys.
Oh,
yeah. That's a metal cut. If you're a metal fan, you know who that is. If you're not a metal fan, you have no idea who that is.
I mean, there's plenty of guys in that world where I would like.
Sly and Arnold are great.
Oh,
those are great picks. Those are fucking great picks. How would you not?
Yeah, Jason Statham.
Maybe
I'd have beers with Jason Statham.
I'd have beers with him, but I don't know if he could convince me to go fucking tear up the night.
No, it'd just be a cool hang, I think.
Yeah. But The Rock, if he's like, no, dude, we're getting fucked up tonight. We're not going home until
Michael Jordan.
Oh, in a heartbeat.
Yeah, for sure, Michael Jordan. Mike Tyson. If Mike Tyson wanted to get ripped with me, oh God, yeah, I would do that in a heartbeat. Eminem. For sure.
Yep. So far, I'm 100% with you. These are all great picks, man. Too bad we got to wrap this up. All right, make sure you guys go to KaisFitCoach.com.
Yes,
make sure you hit subscribe and like and share this video. Sharing is the new thing. That's the deal. If we want to help grow this thing, share it. Share the video. That you, the viewers, share the video. We already share this shit.
Yeah, we do.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Let me make sure I get to the actual correct cam.
Hey.
Oh, that's not what's supposed to be happening. Hold on.
Or fuck it. Let it roll.
See, that's why we need a producer, guys. Ha 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 ha. Forgot to turn that off after the break. Thank you. Hit like, subscribe, share, all that shit. Seriously, sharing is the new thing. So, you know what to do. Blah, blah, blah.